Now it's live. I see it.
Now it says
live.
All right, so first of all, let's just go through who is on the call right now. From left to right, we have Baker, not Biker, BakerXderek. Introduce yourself.
I'm BakerXderek, and I just got my YouTube channel, and that's it. Nothing really special about me.
No. You're supposed to say cheer or something like that.
Oh, and cheer.
Yeah. So you basically you're a motovlogger. Mainly the motovlog. So it's kind of like, for those who are not familiar, I mean, it's kind of like you're doing a blog, kind of random stories.
You got non-motovloggers on here too, watching.
Oh man.
Well, if you got people that don't know about motovlogging, yeah, I'm a motovlogger on YouTube, and which is just pretty much a camera on your helmet with a mic in your helmet, and you talk about topics as a normal vlog, except riding a motorcycle. Pretty much.
And how many subscribers do you have right now?
Almost 89,000, I believe.
89,000. Wow. When did you start?
My channel's from 2007, but I didn't start doing motovlogs till I think the ass into 2012.
Wow. That's pretty cool. And then we have some other guy. I don't even know who this guy is. Somehow he got into the call. The guy just leaned up in front of the camera. What's your name? P?
P. Oh, I thought you saw some guy named Snake.
I know, I did too. I was like, wait, what?
I have everyone's order is different, so.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
yeah, Carlisle, you're at the end for me.
Mr. Kawi Sellout, what bike are you riding now, sir?
Man, I'm not a Kawi sellout. I grew up on Kawasaki, man. I started on a KDX, had a KX. I'm a real dirt guy, man.
All right, hold up for a minute. We want to go through how you started and everything, but just introduce yourself. So you're basically, what bikes do you have right now?
Right now, I don't have anything Kawasaki, but that doesn't mean that I'm not a fan. I've always been a diehard Kawasaki guy. Right now, I have a KTM RC8 and a YZ 450F Yamaha dirt bike.
Nice. And for those of you guys, he actually has one of the most popular videos on my channel right now, the KTM review that we did. It's very popular, and for good reasons. It's an awesome bike.
Is that an older video of yours? I think I've seen that one.
Hey P, when did we do that? Like that's almost a year now. 8 months?
Oh yeah. Then I saw that one. I love those bikes, man. You picked a good choice there.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. I mean, I'm curious to see what this H2 is about, man. Like I said, I always been a Kawi guy.
Nothing wrong with treading the waters, man, on other bikes.
Yeah, you know what it is? I had a Gen 3 ZX10 that I love, and the Gen 4 came out, and I didn't care for the looks, performance, and everything. I love the bike. I just didn't care for the looks, and that's what made me buy the RC8. But depending on what this H2 looks like and the details, I may have to get one of these too, man.
All right, so we want to keep it rolling. Just do introductions for now. So there's some other guy in a helmet, in like, it looks like a space suit of some sort. What's your name, bud? What's your name, buddy?
Houston, this is Space Pod. Over.
Oh shit, we got NASA on the call, man. What the hell happened?
It's going to be 20 minutes for the signal to get to Mars. No, I'm just kidding.
Are you a real astronaut?
No. I am not affiliated with NASA in any way, or SpaceX, or any other agency, or Virgin Galactic. But I can talk about Virgins. Just kidding. No, I can't. So I'm SpacePod on YouTube, and I've been vlogging since July 2012. I met with Mr. BXD here a couple times, and Mr. Carlisle's Picks one time. And, yeah, I'm a YouTube motovlogger.
Nice. So, my name is Carlisle, and I'm an alcoholic. No, wrong call. Wrong call.
Freudian.
That AA hangout.
All right, so yeah, so for those of you guys who don't know, I'm Carlisle from Carlisle's Picks. This top products list. I really recommend products. I do product reviews, motorcycles, jets, cars, boats, technology. But I'm really the theme of the show is really for me to recommend things that I'm passionate about, and I'm really into cars and bikes. So I do a lot of car and bike stuff. I'm trying to make the channel not be a car and bike channel because it's not supposed to be that. That's why I created Your Fast Life, which is going to be just action, cars, bikes, and stuff like that. But ultimately, that's what I do. I started, I think, '06, but that was just me hanging out with the guys, and I would film rides and stuff. I was the quote-unquote camera guy. And then, as of about 2 years ago, maybe a little bit more, I started taking this thing a little more serious and developing an actual program and structure and scheduling. And wow, it's been a wild ride. We're about to hit 17,000 subscribers, which is nothing compared to the this guy over here, Mr. BakerXderek, but I'm moving up. So
that's pretty good, man.
Thank you. So
I think anything even 1,000 subscribers is worth like giving yourself a pat on the back for, because the first 1,000's the hardest to hit.
Yep.
oh yeah,
First 100, then the first 1,000.
I had 263 subs max by the time I started motovlogging. So that's all those years having under 1,000. Then you know what I'm saying. So that goes to show what you put on your videos, what makes people subscribe. So it goes to show, man, you put some good shit out.
Oh yeah. So we wanted to start off this call with a little bit of motorcycle history. So we wanted to talk about kind of like what's your first bike and what hooked you. So I'm gonna start it off. So each one of you guys, try to keep it quick and to the point so we get everybody to get into it. I'll try to lead by example and be quick myself and to the point. I know I like to ramble, but anyway. So my first bike was a Kawasaki.
Oh, appropriate.
Yes, a Kawasaki KLR 250. For those of you guys not familiar, so it's on-road, off-road bike. A lot of suspension travel on the bike, and that bike was a blast, man. My cousin, who is a real big motorcycle guy, he was one of the ones that really recommended it to me as a good starting bike. And I loved it, man. I remember I used to sometimes on the way home, like I would hit traffic, and I would just like grow up the ramp and go into the woods, and while people are sitting there in traffic, they're like, oh, this sucks, whatever. I'm in the woods, like hopping over logs and a smile on my face. That's the motorcycle experience there. But anyway, so that was my first bike that I got, and I only moved up from that bike because it's a carbureted bike. It's like a 1980 something, I think. So I ride all year. And an old bike like that really needed a carb rebuild. I did a carb clean a couple times. It's tough starting when it gets cold, so I needed something with electric start. So I moved up from that to getting a Suzuki SV650, SV650S. That's the sport model, which is
I had
also
one of those. Yeah.
great bike, very torquey, not a lot of power up high, and it sounds like a lawnmower when it's screaming. But but hey. It made up for it at lower RPMs because I used to love, I know this is kind of childish, but whatever. I used to love the low bass of that V-twin. I would be rolling by like the neighborhood like real slow, and it's like whoop, 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 and I'm not even going that fast. It's something, the vibration of it at low RPMs.
You are too close to the vehicle. That was like 1995. People actually took car alarms seriously, and then they're like, fuck car alarms. I mean, whoops. Can we curse?
Exactly. And it's funny because that's really childish, because it's like, why do I enjoy setting off alarms? I mean, that makes no sense, but whatever. I mean, it's the kid in me. I like that. And the final thing is, before I pass it on to BakerXderek, is I would say what got me excited about motorcycles was TV. And I want to hear what you guys, what your experience was on this, because I find it very interesting that TV had a big influence on me. I mean, after the fact, now that I actually ride, I appreciate the actual experience as opposed to the fiction or the dramatization. Like I said in my last video, Street Hawk was really one of my favorite shows. I mean, as a kid, I would be running around and I'm da 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 da. Da, 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 da. Like that was a freaking Street Hawk song, and I'd be singing that song, and I'm running, and then it was like a hyper speed or something. I'd be running like really, really fast. So there's me being brainwashed basically as a young kid. And then, as I said in the last video as well, the next thing was in real life, there were some guys that used to roll up on these ninjas at the local laundromat, and there I am. I was to be like 10 years old, and I was just so excited, man. I was just like, wow, it's so cool, motorcycles, you know. And that's kind of where the bug got set. But the funny thing is, I didn't get my first bike until over a decade later. So I just sat there with this bug of like, I want to one day. And then years and years of looking at bikes, and every time I hear a bike, my head is like turning around. I could be talking to a pretty woman or whatever, and you know, I don't care how good she looks. Like I hear a bike in the background, I'm like, you know. But yeah, so over a decade later, I got my first bike, and that's it. So, BakerXderek, tell me about your first bike.
I just had a '88 Ninja 500 I got on Craigslist for $1,000, and it lasted me quite a while. And for some reason, it never broke down on me, and it was the biggest piece of shit, but yet again, the most reliable piece of shit I've ever had. That's pretty much it.
You still have it?
Oh no, I wish I never sold it. I've always had to sell my shit, usually because of money problems or blah blah blah. But yeah, if I didn't have to, I probably would still have all my bikes. But it was an awesome bike, though. I mean, shit. If you saw what it was and what it looked like, you wouldn't even want to ride it. You'd probably be embarrassed. It was naked and fucking offset. The headlight was kind of offset. It was like some ghetto-fied ass bike. But because it was my first bike, all I cared about was being happy to ride a bike. So that's pretty much it.
I actually still have the KLR 250. It's been sitting for quite some time. That's actually going to be, I think I'm going to do a video of a restoration project, because I think it'll be interesting for people to see, like, bring this thing back to life. I know the fuel's probably all gunked up by now.
Don't you like riding in dirt? You could get this shit souped up. Don't you like riding in dirt?
To be honest,
it's not your cup of tea.
I'm not that big on sliding around. I like the idea of riding in dirt, but you know,
God, once I rode dirt,
sliding around and falling and breaking bones. And
well, so far we have two beginner bikes that are both Kawasaki's, so how appropriate.
Exactly. Nice. What got you into motorcycles, BakerXderek?
Oh God, I couldn't even tell you that. I honestly don't even know.
You feel like you've always been into bikes, maybe?
You know what's funny? I never gave two shits about them until I got my first one. That's the funny thing. And I don't even remember what got me to even want to get the first one. That's why I'm even confused myself on how it was. I'm just trying to be real. I'm not trying to bullshit a story for you, but I really don't remember.
I had a bizarre car buying experience. I ended up on a bike and I loved it.
No, you know what it was? I think I could tell you. Actually, I can tell you.
Okay.
You know what it was? Okay. One time, I got you know those scooters, like those 125 scooters? They're just twist, throttle, go kind of things?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, my buddy had one of those, and I used to fuck around on it, just riding it around. You can get a 12-pack of beer on one of those and just throw it in between your feet and like just ride and all that, whatever. And honestly, that was my first two-wheel experience. But when I was riding that, I didn't think of it as a motorcycle or anything like that. And I guess I was like, I wonder what a real bike would feel like. So, you know, hearing the numbers 500, I was thinking, God, this might be a little too much for me. And you know, nowadays it's just some little two-cylinder shit, fucking slow bike. But anyways, I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and try to get this only $1,000. And sure enough, I tried it, and I guess that's where I fell in love.
Nice. So I think P, right? Yeah, P. So what was your first bike?
Street or dirt? My first bike in general.
Yeah.
Was a KDX 200, which was a Kawasaki like trail bike. It wasn't actually the motocross bike. It was the trail bike. I wanted a KX85 back then, but my parents wouldn't buy it. What actually got me into bikes was the fact that my brother, or I should say my brothers, they actually were into bikes. They rode, and then I had a lot of family that lived in North Carolina, and we would go visit all the time. And I had a cousin who was trying to be a professional motocross racer. So, you know, he had like, he had a bunch of YZs, 125. He had a couple of three-wheelers, Banshee, you know, all these quads and stuff. And that's what got me into it. So in '96, my brother fell. He had a ZX6R. He fell, broke his arm, and he gave me the bike. I rode it for a summer, and my parents really didn't want me to have it. So from '96 to 2004, when I started working on my own, I ended up buying a 636, and I rode the 636 from '04 to like 2009, and then I ended up buying the ZX10. I mean, and it went from there. I don't know if you guys can see this picture, but this is probably one of the first bikes that I fell in love with. This is a Honda MB5. It was like 50 cc back in the day. This is the type of bike, bikes I should say my brother's in the road. Really popular bike, and I just been into it ever since then. I mean, and that's why now, I got a street bike, dirt bike, and I just actually sold both of my quads, which were Raptor 700.
Did you tell me what was the bike that got you into motorcycles? Not that you bought, just personally as a kid, like, wow, something that amazed you, everybody's talking about.
Probably was the Honda MB5, that and the Honda Interceptor. For some reason, it seemed like everybody around me had Hondas, but I was never a fan of Honda. I don't know why. I always, and it's crazy because red is my favorite color, but I always had this thing for Kawasaki.
Kawasaki's awesome.
Makes
The
sense.
next person we have is Space Pod. What was your first bike?
Yes, sir. My first real motorcycle, and it goes with the theme here, was a Kawasaki 1999 Kawasaki Ninja 250.
Nice. Oh,
yes.
yeah. Nice.
Yeah, man. I always loved the little baby Ninja, and my friends always rode, and the only real small bike you could buy when I was growing up, which was around, I graduated '86 from high school, so the baby Ninja was always around, and my friend had an Interceptor 500. I had little 50cc scooters, and I love my scooters, and then, yeah, so my first bike was a 99 Ninja 250, and I rode that thing everywhere. And then, of course, like you, Carlisle, I had an SV650S 2002. That was my first big bike after the Ninja. And but, yeah, I started out on scooters, and I fell in love with my dad's little mini bike, but I never got to ride it. I was like 7 when that thing seeped into my memory banks. And he took us on some rides and fell over in the mountains. He was trying to ride trails with my brother and I both on it, refugee style, and that didn't go over well with my mom, and so he had to sell it. And I never stopped missing bikes from that time. And of course, I love cars too.
What was, as a kid, what was a motorcycle that got you kind of excited?
When I started, anything superbike, anything sport bike, anything super sport with a fairing on it, because I like the look of it and I like the windscreen. Always liked those bikes. When I would draw bikes, I would draw sport bikes, and so I never even considered naked bikes. And I guess the first real bike that got me excited was probably the SV650S, because the Ninja was sort of like I could get it used, I got it at a good price, and I liked it, but it really didn't inspire me like the SV did.
Nice, cool. So,
What do you have?
What's that?
What do you have now?
Oh, I have a, well, I went up to an R1, down to a 750 Gixxer, and now I have a Kawasaki Ninja 300.
No,
which
you don't.
Which I call the ZX3R.
Exactly, thank you.
That's right, that's right. Yep, and I make stickers for them, which I sell worldwide, so that's actually working out really well. And I'm also a moderator on the Ninja, it's actually Kawasaki Ninja 300 forum. So if you're a Ninja 300 owner, come to the forum and we'll treat you right.
I actually like the 300, man. I really do. I never got a chance to ride 250, 300, only because I came from the dirt. I rode on the dirt bikes. Mm-hmm. But I really, I was actually at the unveiling, or should I say the Times Square takeover, when Kawasaki unveiled the 300 and the 636, and I was actually blown away at the look of the 300. I really like the bike.
Oh yeah, it looks. A lot of people confuse it for a ZX10 or a ZX6, and people that have ridden it have been really blown away. And 2 people in this forum have ridden my bike, which is Carlisle and BakerXderek, and I'll let them talk about it if they want. But man, it's such a capable bike. It's so moddable. It's got a really great starting point.
That video I made of your bike, becoming one of my most popular videos. It's got, I think it's coming up on like 80,000 views.
Holy crap balls! Really?
Yeah, it's got like 83,000 or something like that.
You know when I bought my bike, how many views that has now? It has 130,000 views.
Yeah, because you got a bike that all the beginners want. And that's
Exactly.
I bet when they search Ninja 300, you're one of the first ones that pop up.
Exactly. So, oh, that's cool.
The other day that Honda has a 300 coming.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, so here's the small bikes right now are Honda CBR 300. You have the Yamaha R3, which is rumored to be coming, and they have patents filed and all that stuff, which is how we know. And there's the RC 390, like your RC8. The 390's coming.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll see that on American shores. I'd love to ride it. It's a single, but I definitely want to try it out.
Yeah.
So what's happening is the small bike market is exploding, kind of like the olden days.
Well, I'm curious to see what's happening with if you. I'm looking on Honda's website now. If you ask me, the 300 and the 250 look alike.
Yeah, the 300
is way more overpowered than the 250. The
yeah,
Honda.
You know what's
bored out.
It's only a $200. It's a $200 difference.
Yeah, the 300 from Honda is basically a bored out 250. It's 286 cc or something like that. So it's not really that close to 300, and it's still a single. So I don't think it'll really compete with the Ninja 300.
Especially since it's a quad.
Plus what?
Especially since it's a quad.
What's a quad?
The 300.
The Kawasaki is a twin, but the Honda is a single. So I don't know. I'm just not a fan of singles. I am hoping that the RC390 changes my mind. Because that bike is a serious small bike.
Yeah, and also I heard that KTM is going to stop making the RC8.
Oh, really? That's going to make it even more prized.
You might want
RC8 is supposed to be done too.
So you got one of the few, then you should keep it. And then in like 20 years, you'll be able to sell it for 100 G's.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
Bikes will be going for like 50,000 G's, but you'll be able to sell it for, let's see, 100 years. I don't know. But yeah, you know, I really want to see that R3 though, the Yamaha. I'm hoping it's a triple because of Yamaha's FC09, MT09.
Oh, that'd be crazy if that was. They'd take over the market.
Dude, you know what else? Kawasaki's coming out with a ZX3R with that actual label. So they're supposed to be doing something pretty cool with it.
That sounds so funny, dude.
I know.
I don't know how far you guys are from Connecticut, but next week in Connecticut, there's a dealership in Connecticut.
And not even on the east side of California.
Yeah, by the beach.
Yeah. To add insult to injury, we're right almost near the ocean. Okay, close enough.
We'll space pod more.
All right, got you.
Yeah, kind of.
I thought maybe you York too.
Otherwise, I would, man. It'd be great to meet up. And I just met a new vlogger last night. It was Handsome Hooligan from Canada. He's like, space pod him in the area. So a few of us went over there and met him.
Hooligan?
Yeah, the Handsome Hooligan.
I thought I heard you wrong. Well, okay.
And that's not me saying he's handsome. That's what he calls himself.
Exactly.
Just you need to clarify that. Like, oh, he's really sweet.
Was he handsome to you?
I would say he's
Handsome Hooligan.
A good-looking person.
Okay.
I don't think he's wrong about his name.
Because he could just be making that as a sarcastic remark, and he's really
that's true. Yeah, could have been irony, but I don't think it was. No, he picked a good name, and you know, like as an artist, now this is a funny territory, but as an artist, if someone says draw someone hot, I'm like, sure. They're like, it's a guy. I'm like, all right, okay, what do you want? Heroic, muscular, whatever. I mean, I have to be able to do it, so yeah, I can tell if someone's attractive or not of either gender. So.
Right,
and the crickets start chirping.
So what does the name Ninja mean to you guys? What does that name represent? What do you think about when you hear Ninja? Not just your impression. In general, like, what's the impression of the community in general? Like, how do people think about Ninja? What does that name represent to you?
Are we going in order?
Okay. BakerXderek.
Oh.
By the way, I think I screwed up this stupid thing where it's supposed to automatically change to who's talking. So let me know if it's working. So when BakerXderek talks, let me know if you can see him.
Did it work? No? Yes? No? Maybe so? Maybe not. Maybe so.
Yeah, it went to you.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead.
Ninja. I don't know. Makes me think of some Japanese culture for some reason. That has nothing to do with bikes. But when I think Ninja, I always think of my ZXXR, and I don't know. I don't know, man. I can't say it, man. That's a little too deep for me. I don't know how to answer that question correctly.
You're like, don't overthink it. Just run.
Yeah, I'm overthinking it and trying to give a good explanation of it, but I really don't know what the fuck. I don't know what to say, man.
Dude, your bike could be called the Giraffe. You'd be like, well, I never really considered the name. I just ride the shit out of it.
When I hear the word ninja, I think of ZXX. Just those 3 words, or 2 letters in 1 word, whatever.
ZXX.
Go ahead. P, you're after me, I'm sure.
When I think of ninja, I mean, I think of, for some odd reason, I think of a ninja, and actually ninja, it has nothing to do with the motorcycle, and then it's like ninja, like a ninja was sharp and fast, I guess that's what I think about, the motorcycle being sharp, fast, that's probably what I think about.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to retort on your response and say the same thing. Like when I hear the word ninja as in Japanese culture, that's kind of, he actually said it 1,000 times better than me. That's pretty much what I was kind of saying. Because Japanese culture is kind of I know what you mean, like a sharp, swift, beautiful kind of thing. I know what you mean by that. That's kind of how I think, but they utilize that in aspects of the motorcycle design, and it's a fast, sharp, screaming bike, has that screaming sound. But yeah, I'm with you on that one.
What I think about Ninja, I think about
You're like Geek Ninja. I've been reading a long time about the shuriken.
I wasn't even aware of this. Supposedly, people that are not into motorcycles, how do you just, like how they used to say rollerblades is a brand name, right? But they would call inline skates rollerblades. Right. So to people who are not into motorcycles, rollerblades is like Ninja. He was riding a Ninja. Mm-hmm. Oh, but it's a Suzuki. Oh, okay, but it was a Ninja, right? You know what I mean? Like that's what they think of when they think about sport bikes. It's like to me, Ninja is synonymous with sport bikes to people that don't know motorcycles. I was unaware of that, but apparently that is the case. Have you guys heard that as well?
Oh yeah, the name has become synonymous for sport bike because a lot of people that don't understand bikes, they know what a Ninja is. They're like, you got one of them Harleys or is that a Ninja bike? It's like you get 2 choices. It's a Harley or a Ninja. Harley or Ninja.
Exactly.
And I'm like, well, I have a Ninja. I actually do have a Ninja. You are correct. Yeah, because I thought it was one of them Harleys.
Hey.
I think I'll even expand further on just not just the name of that particular model, the Ninja or model series, or however you describe Ninja, but Kawasaki in general to me has been, for me personally, has been synonymous with power. I've always thought of Kawasaki as they build some serious motors, man. I mean, the ZX10 has been an absolute beast for a while. The Hayabusa has been king for a long time, and then freaking Kawasaki comes in with their ZX14, and it's just I think from all the tests, I mean the ZX14 just beats the Hayabusa. I think on acceleration, on braking, obviously on technology, and that's what they do. Look at the 636. Other people have their 600 series bikes. So Kawasaki comes in and they put an extra 36 cc's on that bike and give it more bite. They retune the engine to give it more grunt down low, and it's just, like I've said before, my favorite bike is obviously the Daytona 675R, but, if I just wanted a really fast, really powerful bike, reliable, whatever, I'm getting the 636. Like, that's the bike that I think is, like, the ultimate bike. The only thing that the Daytona really has for me, I mean, there's some small details as well, but I like the extra special from that triple engine, the sound of it, the power delivery of it, the way it's more narrow and it's more nimble. But make no mistake, man, that 636 is absolutely a beast. I mean, if you get the 636 over the Daytona, I mean, you're not like, oh, you screwed up, why did you go get? No, you're getting an awesome bike either way. Matter of fact, Space Pod, you have some feedback on that, the Daytona versus the 636. What do you have to say about that?
Yes. Well, I didn't get to ride the 636 as much as I would have liked, but my current favorite is the Triumph 675R 2014 and the 2013. Amazing bike, but mostly because I love the triple. But a little bit of history. Kawasaki, their first engine was a triple, their first bike.
Really?
And one thing I love about Kawasaki and the word ninja is ninja. Of course, you guys already pretty much covered it. It evokes something that's stealthy and precise and effective and gets the stuff done in the deep dark of night.
Yeah.
And slinks behind a rice paper screen and then lashes out with a shuriken when you least expect it. That's like me lane splitting, or actually like BakerXderek lane splitting. But and what I noticed about Kawasaki recently is they have giant nuts. Okay, and we can probably find another way to say that for the women, giant ovaries, whatever it is. Kawasaki, they were the only ones making the 250 for decades. And then Honda says, "Hey, we're gonna make a 250, fuel injected." Boom. Kawasaki's like, "No, you didn't. I'm gonna make a 300 in the kick of your ass." And so they, oh my god. And so they did, and now the supercharged bike coming out, it's unbelievable. But yeah, I love that triple, and I'm hoping that Kawi makes a triple at some point.
Thank you so much for talking about the triple, because by me looking for the triple, I actually discovered the H2. So we are now going to leak photos of the H2. No one has seen them before. So anyone listening live right now, I'm going to show you the H2. There it is. Supposedly.
Wait, are we supposed to see something?
Oh, you can't see it?
Let's see.
What do you see right now?
If I click on you, oh my God, Kawasaki 750.
Well, whatever this is, it says it's called, the name on the picture says Kawasaki H2 750. So I don't know if
it's totally retro.
Did they have an old bike called the H2, or I wonder what they mean by H2 in that. You never heard about an H2 Kawasaki before, right?
Not an old school one,
Kawasaki.
I mean, there probably is one, but who knows?
Yeah, when I do a Google search, triple automatically comes up, so it knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, Kawasaki triple. The first Kawasaki triple was the 500cc H1 Mach 3, introduced in 1968. Wow. So thanks to SpacePod, we just discovered a little piece of Kawasaki history.
You're welcome. Did my research, but I saw a documentary about this, and Kawasaki, they're so, Japanese companies, you consider them to be conservative and very team oriented and not wanting to rock the boat too much. But Kawasaki's not like that. They sort of had this American ethos as far as just like a bull in a china shop, and yet they're still Japanese and very precise and good build quality and good efficiency, reliability, and they're a very exciting company to me.
Oh, you guys hear the H2 leaked engine, like throttle sound, acceleration sound on the Kawasaki website? It's all official. Do you hear that one yet?
Yeah, it was amazing.
The little chirp and all that, dude. That sounds so beautiful. I'd buy that bike just to, dude. If it sounds like that, and that's obviously probably a stock sound because they wouldn't. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna put some aftermarket shit, but if it sounds like that stock, imagine how that's gonna sound with some aftermarket parts and all tuned out. Oh man.
And then the cages will be like, "Yeah, we didn't hear you."
Oh, dude, like, that chirp though, man, that would be. Can you imagine doing a motovlog and you're just talking, and be like,
that'd be amazing. You almost need two people to do it.
Dude, I watch a motovlogger's videos even if he was boring as fuck, just to be able to hear that fucking chirp sound, man. That'd be dope.
Go ahead and rev, and I'll be the chirp. Chirp. I can't predict your revs because you're revving too casually.
Yeah, I know.
You're revving like you're just going to the grocery market.
I'm revving, yeah. I'm
Oh.
revving like I'm waiting for an old lady to cross the street.
Like you're racing a Harley. Sorry. Sorry. This one Harley guy tried to race me on my Ninja, and he did okay off the line. We got to the first corner, and I was just about to lose him, And then he took off. I'm like, damn
Every
it.
Harley I've ever came across, which are, mind you, probably obviously like I'm talking like the big old 13 hundo, 15 hundo cc bikes. They actually keep up pretty damn well with my 626. I can't lie.
A
Those
good
things are
rider can,
fucking
yeah.
torquey ass bikes.
Yeah. If it's a good rider and even with the corners, like the cops sometimes ride Harleys and.
Oh no, corners! I mean, they can't even try to keep.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
Even
mean
if
the
I'm
corners.
casually riding.
Yeah. They don't have the clearance generally. It depends on the bike though.
What's cool? Yeah, that's what's cool about sport bikes. You just have to lean. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. So it's like you ride fast even without knowing it on those bikes.
Yeah, some Harleys are pretty cool though. Like I rode the A83. It was pretty sweet.
What's up?
What do you guys think of the H2?
Oh, we don't jump the gun there. Jumping the gun. That's coming up next. But we got a couple more questions we want to go through.
Yo, Carlo, you're echoing a bit.
I am echoing.
I think you have your other account mic on.
Let me see.
Batting. BXD. Centerfield.
Reezy, I want you guys to cut me a check, all right? I'm advertising this on YouTube for you guys, all right? Reese's Pieces Buttercups.
Nice.
Really good. Really good.
Now I totally want one.
It hit me right in the childhood. That's my favorite candy back then.
Yeah. Yeah, except when they sit around too long at Halloween and then there's like a little worm in it.
Oh, I haven't had that happen.
Yeah, like
Shit, I probably ate those things then.
yeah, if they sit around too long, you'll figure out which chocolate has worms in it.
Yeah, I just took this one out of the refrigerator. It's nice and cold.
Dude, refrigerating those things is the way to go, for sure.
How's it sound now?
You sound far away.
Okay. But it's not echoing anymore, though, right?
No. Yeah, you're actually on your other account mic now.
Yeah, I just switched off the other one completely.
Yeah. I could hear you, but you're just really low now.
Oh, it is low volume?
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. It's just way lower than you were. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, I'm using the really expensive mic, so that's why it sounds lower. The cheap mic obviously sounds better than the expensive mic, like duh.
Yeah, what's funny is I have a speaker literally like 4 inches away from my mic, and somehow I guess you guys don't hear it. I know what you mean. I'm using the Blue Yeti too. It's not even expensive. It's like the $100 condenser.
Yeah, you would think you would hear that, especially with a condenser.
Dude, this thing is like the best fucking mic in the world. I recommend it to anybody. I've always said that. It's the best thing you could buy.
Because condensers are omnidirectional generally.
No, and this one's got 4 knobs, so you can do omni, stereo, circular, and then there's what's the other one?
What is it? Direct?
Some shit. Yeah, it's got all of it.
Different patterns.
Yeah.
Alright, so before we move on to the next question, I just wanted to clarify something. My buddy saw my ice bucket challenge fiasco in Times Square, and he says to me he wants to know if my haircut is appropriate for the office. Guys, I am not going anywhere with this thing on my head. That was.
Well, I didn't even notice that.
What's that? That was totally for the video.
Oh shit.
I did that. I freaking went in the bathroom and I went with the clippers and I was like, I was trying to do like a Mr. T type of thing, but yeah. As soon as this call is done, this is going right away. I'm not a mohawk guy. Like no, I don't think so. But anyway.
I thought you did it for Sons of Anarchy, like a Theo Rossi sort of tribute. You're a little far away, bro. Can't hear you.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to let anybody know about that, dude.
There you go.
What, Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah, no one's supposed to know I'm on Sons of Anarchy, man.
Dude, I'm sorry I gave it away.
All right, so the next question is, we want to talk about the difference between the old bikes and the new bikes. Like, what has really changed about the bikes? Obviously, a lot has gone digital. We had the old carbureted bikes. Now we got fuel injection. Now we got traction control. I'm going to start off with my feedback on that. I think things have gone in a kind of a positive direction, but also in a negative direction in other ways. But I will say this: right now, motorcycles rock, and I have to do a video about that because you guys know I'm really into cars, but motorcycles are really rocking because what's happening with cars, it's really wow. I mean, the manual transmission going away and things getting too refined and luxurious. Look at even Porsche. I mean, I've liked the Porsche cars, but the modern cars, I went to the auto show and I didn't really care about anything at the booth except for the 918. It's just like everything's all like luxury and smooth, and I like raw. And you know what? Motorcycles are still delivering on the rawness. I mean, you still have the manual transmission. Obviously, the electric is going to change that potentially, but I love that. And also, what I'm missing is with the carbureted bikes, I do all my own work. No one works on my bikes. When I started, I tried this shop and that shop, and every shop screwed me. It's always something. I remember one shop, it was like some simple change, like a tire change, and I always test the bike out once I leave. I got like, down the driveway, and I hit the brakes, and the brakes aren't working. Like, dude, brakes, that's like a serious safety item. How do you release a bike to a customer without being sure that the brakes are set up properly? Like, I could have crashed, I could have died, man.
Yeah.
And it's just, so I got sick of it. So I just got sick of it, and it's always like an argument with them. And so I've been doing my own work, and as a result, I love old school because I can do a carb rebuild, man. I can go in there and take apart the carburetor, all those little pieces and stuff, and clean it up, put it back in. Get in there and do whatever I need to do. But nowadays, man, these modern bikes, I love the lightweight. You can get a big liter bike that weighs almost like a 600 bike. That's amazing. I kind of missed out on that. I used to be a small bike guy, and I was like, I don't want a heavy bike. And then someone was telling me, like, dude, the ZX10R doesn't really weigh that much more. I looked at the numbers. I'm like, wow, really? That's true. It really is lightweight. So I like that. I like the more power. But you know what? Look, like this bike, for example. This bike is a pain in the ass, man. To take off the fairings, and I mean, the amount of screws you have to take off for like a simple part. I mean, it's almost like I'm almost forced. I mean, luckily, it's new, so I don't need to have any repair done. But I don't want to ever have to do any repair work because it's just too much work. And then I'm sorry, I know this is like, it's not really a Kawasaki call, but we are going to be talking about the H2 and all that stuff. But the fairings on the new 636. I don't know about how your bike is, BakerXderek, but they're so delicate, man. You break them. You're trying to be very delicate, like taking them off, and then they snap, and it's a headache. It's so frustrating.
Not mine. Mine's easy as hell.
Oh, see, older bike is better for repair and.
Yeah. Mine's the original 636, the very first best one to me.
Wait, what year was that?
03.
Wow. 05 was the last of that. 66.
06.
Right? 06, and then they stopped, and then they brought it back.
And then 13 and 14.
What do you think about? I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but I remember looking at the performance numbers, and I saw some very, very bizarre things. If you look at the pattern, like you don't automatically assume that throughout the years, horsepower has just been going up and up and up and up and up. But no, that's not been the case, because you have like the Hayabusa, which is so powerful, monster bike. Then the freaking gentleman's agreement comes in, and then things get, well, not really power gets lowered, but they cap out at 186 or whatever. But regardless, I looked at the numbers, and you will see maybe horsepower goes up and up throughout the years, and then it'll be like a dip, like it goes back down, and you're like, what the hell happened? How does the 03 have more power than the 07? I mean, have you guys seen that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Like, but hold on though, we gotta
always. The 07's probably lighter though.
What's that?
The 07's probably lighter, and that's where it probably makes up. And then the motor's probably tuned a little differently.
Exactly. So it's kind of confusing. You can't just look at the numbers, by themselves, because like you said, it could be lightweight. So
yeah, those 07s are fucking thin, dude. They're really small compared to mine.
I think a good example is say like a Porsche 911s. I mean, say 2005, 2006, 2007. I mean, those cars are, I think, 2,800, 2,900 pounds. I mean, so that's very, very lightweight. So even though they'll be around 310, 320, 330 pounds, horsepower, which is, I mean, that's nothing to laugh at, but that's not 400 or 500. But the car is really lightweight. So you got to really, look at all the numbers. But with that being said, what do you think about, in general, modern bikes versus the older bikes? I mean, are they really like much more powerful than the older bikes? I know there's lots of different models, but in general, what do you think? How are bikes today performing power-wise versus older bikes in general?
Who's going first?
BakerXderek, since you spoke first.
Oh, my bad. I'm only 25, so I can't really say much. But all the older bikes I've seen are and this goes for anything in life that's been built, is everything older has always been built better and always with more quality shit, and they weren't half-ass built back then either. So, and that's exactly why you can see all the old school cars today, and why a lot of people still even prefer them and love hot rods and whatnot. And but in the same fairness, obviously with all the advancement in electronics and technology throughout the years as well, every little precise measurement, everything built in factory so precise and built in such a clean and perfect environment. I mean, it goes hand in hand. So it's all, I think, in my opinion, it all goes preference on what you like, and they're both going to have their pros and cons equally. But if you do your research and you pick the right bike, that's, I guess, what it is. It really don't even matter what it is, as long as you take care of it and you love it. I think it's always going to take care of you, unless it's just some truly piece of shit.
That's actually a good point, Derek, because tolerances are so much better now because technology is better, machining is better.
Exactly.
They have like laser jet, water jet cutting. So the tooling that they have in place to build bikes is better.
Put it this way, if they use the build quality of materials from back in the day with today's technology, that's where I think we would marvel at fucking, like, reliability and amazing products. But obviously there's a profit to be made, and things need to break so companies can make money, you know what I'm saying? So that's where shit kind of goes downhill nowadays.
Yeah, I think there's some companies that are still applying, like, ethical standards, or I should say are making their best effort and have good technology. Yeah. Kawasaki is probably one of those companies, because the 300 has been pretty rock solid.
Hey, is my 636 not a perfect example?
Well, that should show you how good of a company they are. I know. Yeah. They make a rock solid bike.
Yeah, my 636 almost 70,000 miles, and that bitch still runs like new. And not to mention, I haven't done maintenance that needs to be done on it lately because, money issues and whatnot. But that thing is still it's bulletproof, man. The thing will never break down. It's awesome.
And you ride it hard, man. You ride it really hard. So
not really, honestly. Just occasionally.
Just from what I see, I mean, you're not putting around, going to the local shops.
But if you ever pay attention, I'm never redlining the bike ever. That's one thing I never do to that bike, and who knows, that might be the longevity of it because I never redline it. Occasionally it will hit that red line, but I always keep it above. It redlines at almost 17K. I always try to keep it around 15, just to keep it a little good because it's old.
Yeah, no, that's a good practice.
I would say that I don't have a necessarily an opinion. I don't think I've ridden enough older bikes to have an opinion in general of like older bikes versus newer bikes. How are they performing? But I will give you a specific example. The brand new 636 versus the older 636. I think it's 05 or so. Huge difference. I mean, you talked about tolerances and things like that. I mean, I feel the 05 636 to me feels so like clunky. Compared to the new 636, and also the power is without a doubt. The power is a huge difference. I mean, I'm on the highway, I'm on 10 or whatever, and I'm like almost redlining to get that power out of the bike. I mean, it's a screamer, the old bike, but the new one, I think I don't know, 7,000 RPMs or so, 7, 8. I think you're already good to go already because of the way they retune the engine. So it's much like. Hands down, if I'm going to be white lining or lane sharing or whatever, I want to be on the new 636, not on the older one. Because the older one, I'm just like, I have to be redlining. And I'm curious.
Ride my 03 and then tell me that.
What's that?
Ride my 03 and then tell me that.
I was wondering about that. So, you think your 03 has more power than the 05?
I'll put it this way. Jake has he actually just bought the what is it, a 05 or 06, damn. 06 I believe it is. And that's the last 636 before the new ones. And I rode it a little bit, enough to be able to get the feel of it and whatnot. And I'll tell you one thing, I love my 03 over that. And that's not a biased opinion.
Wow.
That's just from my. But to be fair, his shit's all stock, and my shit's all done up. But his thing is his bike's also only got 12,000 miles and still got that new. His bike's got all the power still in the motor, you know. Whereas mine over time, I don't know if I'm probably still got all full compression at this point, or if I'm still got all that full power it had back in its prime. You know what I'm saying? So even with that, I was still kind of like getting going on that bike quite a bit. So but that's just my opinion. But I honestly haven't ridden the newer bikes, but I can assure you, and I haven't even ridden them, that they probably do outperform the older ones. Because, I mean, they're not going to bring back a bike a decade later and make it anything new, anything the same. You know?
Yeah. Well, think about this. Kawasaki has been racing not necessarily MotoGP every single year, but AMA racing, and I think they do World Superbike, maybe not, but definitely AMA Supersport. And every single year, there's stuff they improve upon, whether it's how they port things, or the way the fuel injection works, or the way they do the frame, so it's taking some load at lean, and the swing arm, and tire technology.
What are you talking about, Lil Wayne?
Yeah, so like just think about 10 years, 9 years of tech, and Kawasaki being the same company making a bike now and then. They're going to be able to do better now, except the only real consideration is budget. And in a world economy, if they're suffering at all, they might cut some corners. But since we're talking about super sports, which come out of racing, it's always going to be best effort with the race homologation super sports.
All right, so one more question before we jump into a discussion about the H2. So electric motorcycles, and I'm gonna start up the electric motorcycle since I'm the electric bike expert on the call.
Yes, anyway, you are.
I have to say, obviously, if you guys saw my electric motorcycle, the Zero S motorcycle, I absolutely love the bike. I was shocked. I only did it because you guys wanted me to. When I say you guys, I mean the subscribers in general. They're like, you got to do a review, and I was absolutely blown away. The instant power, the flat, power curve. I mean, it's just like you get everything right away and all the time. There's no dips or revving the RPMs or whatever. And then also the lack of moving parts, so it was much more nimble because, just like with the wheels that want to keep the bike upright, you have parts in the engine spinning as well that wants to keep the bike upright. So when you want to do your turns, that stuff, you're fighting against that. So you have a bike that doesn't have all those parts moving. It has smaller wheels, so it's just so flickable. You're flicking and you're flicking, instant torque, and the experience of just that, it's even exciting. Just you're twisting the throttle and you don't hear anything. You're just like, shh. Okay. Yeah. That being said,
noise and like Jetson sound.
Oh yeah, that's.
Everything sounds like a vehicle on an X-Tant.
And then the thing was, people at first were like, kind of like me. They were like, electric bikes. They're like me. I'm old school. I like, I don't like automatic cars, right? I don't even want to hear about paddle shift. I want stick shift cars. That's my mindset. So I'm definitely on board with people that are thinking, no gears. What kind of motorcycle has no gears or whatever? So the people are like, you gotta have gears. So I did the Bramo. I want to say Brambo. Brambo brakes.
Brembo.
Bramo bike.
Oh yeah, the Bramo, yeah.
Yeah, I did that. That's got gears, and I gotta tell you, man, I'm sorry to the Bramo guys, but you guys know if you watch my stuff, I keep it straightforward. I can't be bought. I'll tell you like it is, and it's a great bike. Don't get me wrong, but to be honest, it's not for me. It's like if I'm gonna ride a bike, and this is for now, things may change, but if I'm gonna ride a bike that is transmission and gears and whatever, then it should be a real bike, like a real gasoline engine bike. You know what I mean? I don't want a bike that's electric and then you putting this like it's almost like it's cosmetic. It doesn't need gears. You know what I mean? So I feel stupid. I'm on this bike and I'm like changing gears, and then obviously it's electric, so you don't have the sound of the engine to help you to know when to shift. So I was quote unquote redlining a couple times, but more importantly than that, and this could be the factor that may change my mind in the future, it was clunky. It was just very, very clunky. Like the gear changes, it was not smooth at all. I'm just like, why am I dealing with this? It's an electric bike. Why is it on there? So ultimately, I want the Zero S. Like I love electric bikes. That they've sold me, but I want the Zero S. I would like a more powerful bike than the Zero S, but I like that direction better. Keep it pure, keep it electric, but what I'm really excited about, what I think might be the real bike to really sell me, is the Mission R. And I've been really, really busy, so I haven't gotten to do a review on that. But I want to do the Mission R. I don't know when I'm going to get to do that. But if you guys are not aware, that's like the real deal. That's a real super bike. It's electric, but it's a real super bike. The Zero S is absolutely not a super bike. It's just a motorcycle with an electric engine. Some people want to call it a scooter. I think you have no clue if you call it a scooter, man. A scooter, you know where you're gonna get kind of fun out of a scooter, electric or otherwise. But yeah, the Mission R I think does a good 160 miles, 170 miles per hour. I mean, the Zero S, maybe the SR could top out at near 100, a little bit over 100. So
plus, it looks the part, you know.
Yeah, and it looks apart. So I want to see how the Mission R is. But long story short, maybe if they can get the transmission to where it's not so clunky, where it's smoother or better. I don't know. Get a better transmission and build it. Bramo, build a transmission that's better, and let me test it out, and maybe you'll sell me. But as it stands right now, I don't want a transmission. I don't want the transmission that's offered. So I want a straight, pure electric bike.
You just think you're a tough.
What's that?
Oh, that's my bad. Sorry, I mean my bike.
Oh, okay.
Well, when you have an electric bike with gears, it defeats the point of having an electric bike, because one of the benefits is not having gears and just having this flat torque curve, you know, or torque line, I should say. But it's like putting a feedback on a car. I mean, it's not a horse and buggy anymore. It's a car. So accept the car on its own merits, and the electric car, you know, beyond the gas-powered car. But yeah, I don't see the point of gearing at all on an electric bike. And if anything, they should offer both, you know, the geared version and the non-geared, or have it so electronically you can switch it to gearing and no gearing. Because that might be something they could do too, and then you can just opt not to shift if you don't want to.
It's funny you say that, because if I had a is a leprechaun? A leprechaun gives you 3 wishes, I think, right?
Isn't it when you rub a genie bottle and the genie comes out and gives you 3 wishes?
Oh, maybe it's a genie. Well, if I had a genie bottle, what is it? I Dream of Genie, taking me back. If I had a genie bottle,
way back,
with a sexy genie like what was her name again? I forgot.
Barbara Eden.
No, the character. Come on.
Oh, Genie.
Oh, her name was actually Genie.
I Dream of Genie.
If I had a genie named Genie, what I would be asking her in terms of like,
why the hell do I know these things? Yeah.
Build me my ultimate car, like that doesn't exist, because I love Lamborghinis or whatever, but ultimately there's no perfect car. I don't think for me or for anybody else. There's always got to be something better. I mean, if you didn't build it yourself, how can it be perfect? So if I were to get my wishes, the car that I would want would have both an automatic and a manual transmission. So you guys know I love manual transmission, but I do respect, what you get from automatic. I mean, it would be nice to be able to switch to automatic mode in traffic. However, that's not so much of a problem that I'm willing to forsake my manual transmission experience just for the convenience of if I go through traffic. Like, screw that. I will get the manual car and I'll just avoid traffic like I've been doing for years. Either I find a way around the traffic or I just don't drive at the time. Like, whatever it is, I work it out. Like, when I was living in New York, I one time, you guys may laugh at me, I took it should be about an hour to an hour and a half commute from Connecticut. I was working in Connecticut, going back to New York. I took maybe 2.5+ hours to get home. Why? Because stick shift car, and at the end of the day, it was Friday. It's a traffic nightmare, and I just didn't want to sit in traffic in the stick shift car. So what did I do? I went local the entire way from Stamford, Connecticut to New York City. Now, that's the slow way to go, but you know what? Whatever. I was not going to do traffic. Like, that's what I do. Whatever it takes to avoid the traffic. I do that, or I just don't drive. I take the train or whatever it is, But bottom line is that my ultimate car would be an automatic and a manual in one. So just like you said with the motorcycle, that would be a nice option.
You like that? You like that auto manual stuff, or where you flick the kind of like a flick a switch kind of deal to switch gears?
Oh, you mean the paddle shifters?
Yeah, you like those? No, not paddle shifters. Like, you know what you see in the new, like, 300, I think they have them in the 350s or they have them in the Altimas too or some shit like that. Those sporty Altimas, you know, where it's like on the automatic gear selector, but it's like,
oh, I know what you mean.
there's a plus minus thing and whatnot.
Yeah, that's Tiptronic.
Is that what you like? Yeah, Tiptronic.
No. I see that.
Or are you talking strictly paddle?
No. Look. My thing is any car that I'm driving, this is what I'm talking about. You know, some kind of stick in there, no kind of paddles up here. Or I guess that was a bad analogy because I mean technically that what you're talking about is a stick, but clutch. You know what I mean? That kind of a press up to shift up and press down. And, no, man, because there's no clutch. I want to do the clutch. I want to basically be able to be rewarded by a perfect shift and stuff like that. You know?
Yeah, for cars, for me, I don't care for cars. What I do, I like just straight up old school manual. I just love that full mechanical manualism of having full control of your car. But I see where you're coming from on that for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, I do think they'll have both, Carlisle, because they have the drive-by-wire tech. It's all computerized now, and I think it'll get to a point where you can have your Fiat Abarth like I have, which is only stick. It only comes in stick, and yet you'll be able to switch it over to automatic, and your stick is still there. And your clutch is there. You can just use your dead pedal. What's that?
I said I hope my stick is still there. But I didn't know those were only manual. Are you sure? Are you serious?
The Abarth, yeah, it only came in manual. Like if you wanted the Abarth, you can't be no automatic freaking wimp.
At least you know if you were buying one and you knew you wanted obviously a manual. At least you know everyone you came across is going to be one.
Yeah, exactly. Like recently though, probably I don't know why, but recently they started offering automatics. But when you first got them, when they first came out, it was only stick, including when I bought mine.
Well,
I gotta get to going. It was nice meeting you, Carlisle and P. It's nice seeing you guys and meeting you.
Yeah, good seeing you again, Derek.
Yeah, I gotta cook, man.
All right, cool, man. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it.
You guys all have a good one. And Space Pod, Adam's coming down to stay the weekend with me, and if you want to come down, maybe appear in one of our videos.
Yeah, man, let's do it. I'll talk to you offline. We'll definitely.
I'm making a movie. So.
You guys going on a date?
Who's me and Adam?
Is Adam a vlogger, or who's Adam?
Oh, Arsenide.
Oh, yeah, okay, cool.
Buddy.
Yeah, just let me know time and place, and we'll
he's my best friend. I grew up with him, so yeah, I know him personally.
yeah.
But anyway,
can you guys hear me?
Now I can, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I had to switch devices. For some reason, the iPad wasn't. I used the iPad for the video, but it wasn't holding the connection.
Oh.
Which is weird.
Apple products tend to do stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, you got your truck on.
It's weird because I pay for faster internet, so I got like 120 megs coming in. So it shouldn't be breaking up at all.
Yeah, I'm using FiOS from a FiOS connection from a house over, and I'm still doing good. And I still get like 25 download.
Yeah, I'm getting 120 on the download. It's that iPad, man.
That's that good shit right there. I wish I could have that kind of download.
Now you could the cable company offers it now.
Yeah, well I get it free because I'm using the neighbors, but I see what you mean.
Oh yeah.
I can't complain on free internet.
Yeah, free. You can't complain, man.
Yeah, for sure. But they know I'm doing it. I'm not stealing it or nothing.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if they didn't know you was doing it, you should tell them.
Yeah.
You need to get a faster internet, man.
I got the password and all that shit, but
that's cool.
It was nice meeting you guys and stuff. And you too. Hey, Pete, you got a YouTube channel? Do you do anything like vlogging or anything?
I don't really vlog, man, but I'm gonna start, man. You guys gonna have me start, but I'm gonna be doing stupid stuff.
Shit, let me know, man. I'll sub to your channel and stuff. Nice meeting you.
Where are you guys at? You guys in California?
Yeah, I am. I'm in San Bernardino. Space Pod's in LA.
Yep.
How far is that from San Fran?
Oh, what do you say? Space Pod? Yeah.
I just went there to meet a couple other vloggers. 350 miles from my place, pretty much. And then a little farther from Derek, but.
Me and Carlisle are gonna have to get out there, man. I've never been to California, so.
Oh, you won't want to leave.
Yeah, it's
especially
good. Rent a bike.
You said you're in Connecticut?
Well, I'm New York.
New York?
I work in Connecticut, but I'm from New York City.
Put it this way: if you like constant 90 to 105-degree weather days, but deciding on where you're at. If you're at the beach, it'll always be under 100, but sometimes it will be. If you like that every day, almost every day of the year, then yeah, you'll like California a lot, man.
Yeah, I gotta get out there, man. I can't.
Yeah.
Try to dissuade him. No, it's worth it. It's good.
All right. Hey, Carlisle, man, thanks for inviting me and stuff, and you have a good one. Nice talking to you in person.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right,
I really
guys.
appreciate you joining us, man.
Yeah, no
See you,
problem, bro.
Derek.
You guys all have a good day. I'll see you guys later.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Hey, call out, man. I'm gonna knock out too, man. I gotta get up early.
All right, cool.
All
All right, man.
All right,
But,
CFP, it's good talking to you, man.
Before you jump off, could we? I just want to hear your thoughts on the H2 real quick.
You know what? I'm interested in seeing what it's gonna be. I mean, something tells me it's gonna be a 750. Then there's another part of me that says it's gonna be over 1,000 cc's. I can't wait to the 30th because not only will this bike be unveiled come the 30th of the month, but we should also know something about the new R1. We should know if KTM is going to do a 2015 RC8 or if that's it. We should hear something from Honda. We should hear something from everybody towards the end of the month.
Yep.
Well, here's a question. Something you got to think about. No, people thinking about it should be 700 or 1,000, but the thing about it, you got to think about. There's a reason why Kawasaki's building this bike, and that the answer to that thing is going to help you decide what this bike is. Like, what bike does Kawasaki need right now? And I know there's two ways to look at it. You can look at the current lineup and see where there's a gap that this bike could fill in or fit in. But then you could also consider that it's very possible that this could be just really a marketing thing. So it could be this crazy bike that's more powerful than the ZX14 that's just going to be this wow factor. Everybody's talking about it, and oh, you S1000 guys, you guys can't touch the H2, but it's really just marketing. It's going to be really expensive. Or it could fit in somewhere realistically, like you said, like a 750 type of bike. But what does Kawasaki need right now? Do they need a 750 type of bike? I mean, what would be the purpose of this H2?
You know what? Honestly, man, this could very well be a lighter ZX14. This could actually be a bike between a 1000 and a ZX14 where you got that 14 power, but you got the handling of maybe say a ZX10 or 600 or 636, What's getting me is that people are saying that the bike is supercharged.
Why would they build that?
I don't know. I don't even see where that would fit in anywhere. So that's why it's going to be very interesting to see what Kawasaki thinks it's going to be good for.
You gotta love, man. Why? Hey, listen, you gotta love. Why did they do that? Because that's the thing. We don't get that too much. Everything now is pretty much a routine. You know what I'm saying? We need more companies that just do stuff, and you'd be like, well, why did they do that? But it doesn't even matter. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's awesome that they're making a supercharged bike, because who does that? I mean, it's really cool. So I can't wait to see it.
Kawasaki does.
I could be wrong. I don't know all motorcycles. I don't know any other company that has a supercharged motorcycle. I mean, there's a couple of companies that have them turbocharged, but I don't know about supercharged.
Pretty much nobody that I know about, unless it's a custom builder.
Right.
Do you think it's possible, and this would be crazy, that Kawasaki could have, and wow, this would be crazy if this actually ends up being true. Is it possible that Kawasaki could end up being the first motorcycle manufacturer to build a hybrid motorcycle? Is that even an option, that this bike could actually be somehow, because like the P1, you familiar with the P1, the McLaren P1?
Right.
So you have
the car.
Yeah, you have a gasoline engine and you have the electric motors as well. So basically, the electric motors kind of fills in all the torque gaps. So wherever you would have like a lower power, the electric motor kicks in. So you're almost getting that flat power curve like you would if it was fully electric. So I mean, a bike with that, so he's talking about a bike that would have low down torque like a twin, but still scream up high. I mean, that'd be insane. But do you think that's even possible? I mean, not that it's possible, but I mean, what do you think about the likelihood that that's what they did?
With a supercharger, I don't know, man. Probably not likely for this bike.
Yeah. This is whatever this is. This is making. I just got a feeling that this is here to make a statement. This is to let people know, man. Listen, we do not play.
I agree. I think it definitely a statement bike.
Yeah, I mean, think about this, man. One thing, if you ask anybody, like ask some old guy that doesn't even ride anymore, right? Kawasaki has always been known to make like a monstrous motor. Like they always been known to do that. That's why when Suzuki, had all the rave behind the Busa, they was like, take this. Here goes a 14 for you. It's like they always been known. Now you think about it, BMW comes out, they got the S1000. What's the only bike that can touch it? The ZX10. Cowie goes, whoa, wait, hold on. You know what? Hold this for a little bit. This should hold you off for a little bit. So hey, this could be the S1000 killer, man.
How close is the ZX10 to the S1000RR right now?
I think it's close, man. If you do the right modifications, man.
But the S1000 still beats it.
I think that depends on the rider there.
Well, yeah, obviously, but I mean, just power-wise, I mean.
Actually, that made me think of something. P just brought up a good point here. Is the HP4 is sort of the exclusive version of the S1000RR. So the H2, especially with that H moniker, it could be the competitor to the HP4. A very limited niche market, upscale, top shelf everything.
Yeah.
Beyond the ZX14 or the ZX10, bam, H2, corollary to the HP4, set to knock BMW off that perch.
Well, hold on.
So it could be Kawasaki's statement bike, technological prowess, like, hey, we're doing a supercharger bike, which hasn't been done in who knows how long, if ever, and then bam, we're gonna topple the HP4.
You forgot the best part. Well, the best two parts: reliability and price.
Sorry, what? A little hard to hear.
Reliability and price. So a bike that not only would be more powerful than the S1000RR, or the HP4 rather, but also be more reliable. I heard about those recalls, and a better price.
Yeah, maybe.
Price now, man, I'm going to be honest with you. These bikes are now at the 15 and above market now, man. That's where they at now. A lot of people say, oh, I mean, even me, a couple of years ago, I was like, I'll never spend $15,000 on a bike. But you pretty much have no choice. That's where it's at. I mean, when I was riding, you could get a 1000 for like 10, 11 grand. If you paid 11.5, you was like, oh yeah, I paid 11.5. You're doing good. Now 600s are like $10,000, and all these other bikes are like 14, 15, 16, 17, some 18, 20.
Yep, definitely quite an investment. And I think that's one of the reasons the little bikes are picking up too, is we're starting to see a lot more choice throughout the range of displacement sizes. We're seeing the little bike market blow up. We're seeing the mid-size market blow up with like a lot of 700s. Like you have the ZX, what is it? FZ07, the FZ09, the 650, Ninja 650, the Ninja 400 now. And of course, so before it was like the Gixxer 750, where there wasn't much else around that size.
Right.
And that's kind of populating now.
Yeah. Not only that, you know what else is really popular right now? Naked motorcycles. Naked motorcycles are popular for a couple of reasons. One, insurance. They can pretty much sneak the same power that's close to an R1. I'm not saying it's there, but it's close to it and get you cheaper insurance simply because it doesn't say R1. Naked bikes are really popular right now. I mean, to me, Yamaha is doing the best job with it because they're giving you an FZ07 and an FZ09. These bikes are considered affordable. I mean, I even like the KTM 1290 Super Duke, but then you're looking at $18K for a bike for a naked. And I mean, that's why I think the Yamaha has become popular, because it's like, oh, I got a naked and it's affordable.
Oh yeah, and it actually starts to blur into the beginner category, even though it's not a beginner bike. But for the price and because it's naked, if you drop it, not a big deal. You know, beginners could conceivably get a bike like that and be able to afford it for their first bike before they really know what they want.
Right. Right.
But
You're
yeah,
right.
that FZ07 is cool, man. I got to ride one of those, and it's got a ton of power.
Well, this weekend not this weekend, sorry, next Saturday, next Friday and Saturday, they're having a demo day at the Yamaha dealership out here in Connecticut. So they're going to have the FZ07, the FZ09, then they're going to have the whole Star line, the Bolt, the Striker, the Raider. I'm excited because I want to jump on the Bolt. I want to jump on a FZ09, and I want to jump on a FZ07.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you said you rode the 7 or the 9?
Yeah, I rode the 7. It's under $7,000 for that bike.
Yep.
And man, they got a really narrow seat on it, so it's good for shorties or you know, younger riders that are still growing, whatever. And just gobs of torque on that thing, gobs of power. It's just a parallel twin as far as I know, but they've done some fancy business with the internals, and they just really wrung a lot out of the engine. And it pulls hard, man, and it looks great for a naked bike.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
I'm not sure about the 7, but I think the 9 is actually using the cross-plane technology.
Yeah, I think that's a cross-plane triple, as far as I know.
Yeah, the 9, yep.
The 9, yeah. And I think we're going to see that triple technology trickle down into smaller bikes. So that's where we're hoping for the R3 to have a triple, because almost all small bikes nowadays are either singles or parallel twins, and that's been done to death. So the minute someone comes out with a top shelf triple in a small bike, small chassis, top shelf parts, or at least good parts with optional top shelf and quick shifters and all that stuff, I think you're going to really see some excitement, because for too long people have confused or conflated the idea of a small bike or a learner bike with a budget bike or a learner or whatever. But a smaller displacement bike doesn't have to be a budget bike or a learner bike. It could be a really awesome bike unto itself.
Yeah, you know what? That's like I tell you, I'm going to tell you guys about a bike, and then I'm going to get off. One bike that I'm really interested in right now actually, is the Honda Grom.
Yeah, man, I rode one of those. It's a blast.
I like that bike.
I can't even flat foot that bike. It's so sad.
Are you serious, man?
I'm short, 5'3". Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the size of a regular bike. It's just got smaller wheels on it, so it's got all the width and stuff. But man, that is a fun little bike. 125.
Yeah,
Definitely.
but hey, listen, man. Good speaking to you guys, Carl. Good speaking to you.
All right, man. So it looks like
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to you later, man, and then I'm gonna link up with Carl, man, and we gotta see something about getting out there.
Yeah, man.
Good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool, guys. Later.
Have a good night, man.
All right, later.
All right, Space Pops. I'm gonna wrap this up since
Okay.
looks like, I mean, because I'm not getting any response back from Murky. I know he had something going on. That's what he was saying, like 9 and 30. So it's probably whatever it is. It's probably still going on. But
Okay.
there are some questions I wanted to run through really quickly. Do you have some time for that, or you need
Sure.
time right now?
Yeah, I got a little time left.
All right, so let's see. There's not many, but let's see. So, and the thing for these guys listening, whenever we do these calls, you guys really need to go into the Google Plus page link for the event, not the YouTube page, because if you go to the Google Plus page, you're gonna see a question and answer button. Basically, wherever you see the window where the video plays, upper right-hand corner it says Q&A. You can click on that and ask your questions. The beauty of that is, like right now, there's a question from Supernautica. Now, I can see his question, and I can go ahead and I can select it. And once I do that, once this video gets uploaded, it'll automatically have an index. So you'll be able to watch the video after the fact whenever you want to, and you'll see all the questions. You can click on Supernautica's question and skip right to it. So rather than watch this whole thing, you can look for an interesting question, and then you can skip right to it. It's all automatically done, but only if you guys go to the Google Plus page, click on question and answer, and ask your questions that way. So anyway, so I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the question. So I'm selecting it now from Supernautica. If you're listening, I'm answering your question now, or at least bringing it up. So you say, the H2 has a whole lot of people waiting for more info. I'm guessing it'll be a 750 based on the 636. So that's kind of what we're talking about. that's a potential that it could be, because the 750 right now is an amazing motorcycle. I'm going to be doing a review on that pretty soon. I'll try to do a comparison between the 750, the Gixxer 750, and the Daytona 675R. But that's an amazing bike. It's really kind of by itself. There's not many bikes in that area. It's kind of like you go from 600 to, there's not even any more 800s anymore, right? 800 or 900?
Yeah, no 800s, no 900s. It's pretty much an abandoned market, the 750, and Kawasaki is kind of known for trying to address those niches, you know, like they did with the 250. So I think it is a plausible theory that it would be a 750.
Hey, look,
Based
a
on the
750
66.
supercharged, Supernautica, a 750 supercharged motorcycle built by Kawasaki would be insane. I mean, what would compare to that? I mean, you've got that gap, and not only are you fitting in that gap, you're absolutely like just, you know, forget about Gixxer, forget about everybody else. You're just dominating. Like you're making the Gixxer 750, which is a legend and an awesome bike. You're making that kind of like yesterday's news, like. Who cares about that anymore if they do something like that? So that would be pretty awesome, I think.
The only possible rebuttal I would have for that is that it would cannibalize their 636 market, which is already a quote-unquote cheater bike, because there's no race classes on the street. Nobody cares if it's a 600. If they can have a 636, makes more sense. They're going to want that. They're going to want a 675. Maybe they don't want a leader bike, but they don't want a 600. So I think it's plausible. I don't think it's a bad theory, but any class they put it in, it almost seems like it would cannibalize their own market. The only class I can really see them doing it in, though, is the ultra exotic class, like the HP4, Kawasaki's version of the HP4.
Well, the thing is, I don't have enough engineering and knowledge to understand what the capabilities are of a supercharged system on a bike like this, because in order to answer what you're saying, I would need to know how much more power this thing could give you. Like, if you have the Gixxer 750, which is just naturally aspirated, and you have the supercharged 750 from Kawasaki, I mean, is it going to feel like a naturally aspirated 800 or 900? I mean, I don't know how much more of a boost that thing is going to give the bike. I mean, if it's just a little bit more, then I could see what you're saying. It's just kind of like, you know, is it worth that extra money just to get a little bit, you know what I mean? But if it's significant though, if it feels like an 800 or something ridiculous like that, or maybe it's where it delivers the power, like it's not quite an 800, but down low, man, when that supercharger kicks in, and whoo, it's insane.
And the thing about a supercharger, it's on all the time, unlike a turbo, which has to spool up and relies on back pressure, as far as I understand it. But superchargers are on all the time, so the power is there right from the beginning. And a supercharged bike would be incredible. Plus, there's some danger elements to turbochargers on a bike, I would think, because if the power kicks in when you don't expect it, you know, obviously there's safety concerns.
Well,
so I don't know, man. I hope it's a small bike. That'd be awesome. What if it was a 250 or 200?
Hey, listen, how about this? If it's a 750 and it feels like a 750, so it's no extra like feel like 800 or 900, it feels like a 750. However, because of the supercharger, just like you said, it's delivering power where that 750 is not. So you're on a Gixxer 750, and even though it's decent in the mid-range, but still you gotta rev it up. And now you get on the supercharged one, and it's like as soon as you twist the throttle, I mean, what I'm getting at is the 750 has a lot of power. You just have to tap into it with RPMs. Now, if you can get that down low, much lower, that could make a dramatic change in terms of how the bike is. And
yeah,
it's a 750, but whoa, Gixxer 750 put me to sleep. The Kawasaki 750, whoo! I mean, it could be amazing. Wow.
And just having a supercharged bike, one of the first in decades, would be by itself a great novelty.
Oh yeah, you know everyone's gonna be crowding around. So you want people who like attention, which is a lot of people who own bikes actually. People are gonna be all around you, man. They're gonna want to see, wow, you got the H2. You always got the, yeah. You're gonna be, yeah. All right, so let's done with that one. And the next one says, how big do you think the H2 is? Is it a 600 class or a liter bike? So we already kind of addressed that. So, oh, and that was actually my question. So Carlisle, we already addressed that, Carlisle. So I'm skipping your question, Carlisle. Okay, all right, so done. Another question from Carlisle. How big do you think the H2 is? You just asked that question, Carlisle. Wow, this guy.
Yeah, what's with this Carlisle guy?
Yeah, he's asking the same question twice.
What the hell?
British H2 So wait. Did you create an account with H2 in it already? Like you're like super fanboy before the bike even comes out, or did you have that before? His name is Bridge H2. Okay, so maybe it's H20 SC. Wait a
Or
minute.
water H2O.
It ends in SC. Isn't SC supercharged? I don't know, man. That's
There
a
we
little
go.
fishy.
Yeah.
That's a little fishy there. But anyway, I don't know. And zero is that how many seconds to 60? I don't know. Whatever. So his question is. Let me select the question. The question is, whoever this is, if you listen, probably just laughing his ass off right now. But anyway, my guess is the H2 platform will be used for both the 636 and the ZX10R, similar to what Ducati did with the 899 and 1199. Correct me if I'm wrong. So you're wrong. Actually, the H2 platform is actually going to be based on. I don't know what it's going to be based on. I can't correct you. It's not released yet.
I was gonna make that joke if you didn't.
But wait a minute.
No, you're absolutely wrong. Let me tell you what it's going to be. It's going to be a 200cc bike, supercharged.
Yeah, as long as you say it with confidence, like you'll be like, "Wow, did you hear it?
Yeah.
All those pics he said." Da, da, da. Yeah.
It's actually going to be a competitor to the Grom.
Do you understand what he's saying though? He's saying used for both the 60. Oh, is he saying like the way it was illustrated to me by it's late, whatever. Famous guy who was a racer who told me we're talking about the S1000RR versus the HP4, and he says the way to look at it, because we're talking like what is it really? He says think about the M, right? You have the 3 series and then you have the M3. You have the 5 series and you have the M3. So he was saying the HP4 would be like an M for the bike. So I guess it's what this guy's saying. So if we use the same kind of M thing, so you'd have a 636M and a ZX10M, or an H2 based on a 636 and an H2 based on a ZX. So basically a supercharged version of the ZX10 and a supercharged version of the 636. Interesting idea. I think that could work. What do you think?
Man, it's so much power. I don't know what you would even do with that on the street. I mean, you may as well just get a plane and some wings. Well, planes come with wings generally.
Yeah,
Get a rocket, strap it to your back. I mean, you know, I think the most plausible thing is an HP4 competitor. It's an exotic. It's a Cowie exotic.
Yep. I agree.
The best effort Cowie exotic, saying, you know, we're the 900-pound gorilla once again, and look at this, it's supercharged. Hey, come beat us. Come get some.
Absolutely. All right, so we're done with the question from the H2 fanboy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you, but I don't know, your name looks a little suspect. Anyway, done. So final question from this platform is, hey, with an H, wow.
Hey.
Let me select the question first. Hey, Carlisle, have you heard about the Lamborghini Huracan crash? Yeah, I heard about it. I saw the photo. It's insane. So Huracan. Oh, I said Huracan.
Damn.
Huracan,
Someone already crashed a Huracan?
Yeah, it's burned to the ground. So I gotta look into that as soon as we get off the call. But yeah, I heard about it. Off topic, Mr. Matthew Yazvac.
Matthew Yazvac. You need another T there.
Yazvac.
I guess you could spell with one T.
Yazvac.
Matthew Yazvac.
Look,
would you like to vacuum? Yazvac.
Right now. No offense, man. We're just having a good time here, buddy. Thanks for your question.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see any more straggler questions. Have you ever driven a T-Rex? David Cook. I would love to drive a T-Rex. It definitely interests me in terms of, you know, you're getting the kind of motorcycle performance, lightweight, but then you have the stability of 3 wheels, which SpacePod knows all about, because go to SpacePod's channel. SpacePod is not an O, it's a 0 for the O. So
yes, it's a 0.
Because you test rode what motorcycle that has 3 wheels? That's a trivia question for the day.
Yes. Ding, 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 ding. Meow, 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 meow. That's kitty trivia. I test rode the Can-Am RS-S RSS 2013 in SpacePod White, and it was freaking, it was okay. It was all right. It's like being on a wave runner on the road, but without all the sloshiness and the, you know, the 5 knots limit, whatever. But no, it was okay. I didn't really like the cornering. The cornering was completely ass backward. It was terrible. I hated it, kind of. I'm on a great road. I'm cornering. The thing's trying to buck me off, like slide me off. I'm like, this is wrong. This is totally and utterly wrong.
All right,
But
any
you're
guys,
paraplegic, whatever, get on it. Quadriplegic, whatever. I guess it'd be paraplegic.
so whoever's listening right now, I don't know what your malfunction is, why you haven't subscribed to SpacePod's channel already, but here's yet another reason to subscribe to SpacePod. He's an awesome guy. He's got great videos.
Oh, you're too kind.
And you have a video where you test rode the Can-Am motorcycle. So if you guys are interested in knowing some feedback, SpaceBot is pretty good at stuff like this. I watched the video; it's pretty cool.
Thank
so
you.
there you have it. Check his video out and see what he thought about the Can-Am motorcycle.
Yep, and I rode the Grom and the FZ07 and many other bikes, but also I rode Carlisle's Picks 2013 Triumph Daytona 675R, and it was amazeballs. It was amazing. It actually cemented the idea that this is now my favorite super sport.
Yeah,
and
so
you got to ride my bike.
And there you have it. Hopefully you guys can see this. So this is the video. It's on SpacePod's channel. I have one on I don't know, Your Fast Life or Carlisle's Picks as well. But you can see his feedback on the Daytona 675R. You guys know I'm in love with the Daytona. It's my girlfriend. I call her Dana and all this kind of stuff. So here's a guy who he just jumped on it for a test ride, so we can give you more objective feedback. And watch the video. He tells you what he feels about it. He was amazed with it as well.
Yes,
and really impressive.
it's amazing.
But I'm not
light, narrow, beautiful.
No spoilers. You guys want to know?
No spoilers. That's right.
Go watch the video.
That's right, and you want to hear it too. So if you want to see Carlisle's side, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and pimp your channel, Carlisle. Check out Carlisle's Picks and Your Fast Life, and check out his videos. They're very engaging. And he's very present in the videos. You get to see jets and cars and awesomeness and bikes.
And bikes.
And occasionally girlies.
Yeah.
And hamsters. Just kidding.
Canyon Carver's Cali was supposed to be on the call. He's probably riding up and down right now in Mulholland Drive in the middle of the dark. I hope you're not, dude. But anyway, just want to give you a shout out. I'm pretty sure you had something come up. It would have really been awesome if you could have been on the call with us. I want to give a shout out to Chris. Fuck John. Okay.
Fuck John.
I know. It sounds obscene or whatever, but he explained it to me. It's really not. And I'm not gonna say where he's from because I'm gonna say the wrong place. But let's just say Europe somewhere. And basically, that last name translates somehow literally to what his last name actually is. But you have to know the language. Fucking
John.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm a word nerd, so I go off on names. And Matthew, I'm glad you had a good laugh out of that.
Yeah, I said to him, dude, what do you have against John? Like, that's what I asked him. I didn't even tell him what the name was. Right?
What if you meet a guy named John and he asks you your name? You're like, last name is Williams. What's your last name? Fuck John. Hey, fuck you, buddy. Don't call me buddy. Don't call me buddy, pal. Don't call me pal, buddy. Yeah, anyway, you're like,
I want to give a shout
John Williams.
Because Chris really wanted to be on the call. It's unfortunately, as of 7 p.m., 7, 8, 9, 10, like 3 hours ago, it was 2 a.m. and he was gonna be on the call at 2 a.m. But we pushed it back to 9 for Ricky Gadson. Unfortunately, we didn't hit him on the call. But yeah, he has school tomorrow, so he had to bail. But it's gonna be downloaded so you can watch it there. So I just want to give a shout out. Cool guy, spoke to me before. Who else do we have? C-Tac Assassin, another cool guy, talking about random conversation about bikes. We all love bikes. I can't believe I'm not gonna say one.
X Baker X Goody Hole. No, that's just Goody Hole is just a BXD-ism. Goody Hole is just like asshole, whatever. And if you understand the language of BXD, which I study, like I study Latin, study BXD-isms, and yeah, Goody Hole is funny.
So he says somewhere in here there's a question. He says something about Harley. What do you think about Harley Davidson? I'm not really into those kind of style of bikes. I mean, the closest bike in that category, or kind of in that category, that I would be good with is the Aprilia Capanord, which I really liked it, and I think for anyone that ultimately wants a kind of a cruising or touring bike, The Capnord is a great bike if you're kind of sporty minded. You're sporty minded, but you're too dedicated to the touring mindset to go with any kind of sport bike. Like, you need a touring bike, but you want excitement. You still want that fun. Well, the Capnord, that is the bike. Very powerful, very fast, very nimble, but it's still a touring bike. So you have that. It's a high center of gravity. It's a tall bike, and I just don't feel as comfortable on that. So with that being said, so that's kind of the ultimate sporty kind of touring bike that I would ride on. Now, Harley, as far as I know, doesn't have anything like that at all. I think they're going to be really true cruising and touring style bikes, which is really not for me. What do you have to say about Harleys? I haven't even ridden one. So
well, I am not a Harley fan. Most people know that. I'm pretty open about that. However, there's the new Livewire, I think it's called. What is it called? The new Harley Electric coming out, and Project Livewire, I think it is. And I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. Now that, I got to give Harley props for that. They've never made a sport bike. They got out of racing, which I thought was kind of lame, but they are working on electric. So I have high hopes for that, and you know, their contingent may be annoyed at first, but they'll embrace it like everyone will. Eventually, electric, I think, will replace gas. And yay, Harley, go. Let's see what they do. Just don't make it a boat anchor. Ixnay on the anchor oat bay. I can't speak Big Latin. Who am I kidding?
All right, so we have the final questions. I love how Google Hangouts is like, you have people that commented on the Google Plus page. You have people that actually use the module, which is, please, everyone, in the future, that is the ideal. Like, I want all the questions in one place, and it's integrated into the system, whatever. But you have people there, and then you have people that are commenting on the actual video itself on YouTube, which is where I am now. So there's about 7 comments, some of them are questions. But anyway, so L Shake and Bake one, another one of my subscribers. Hey, Shake and Bake. You can't even see me because I have it set up to the.
It's Shake and Bake.
But anyway, he says my first bike was a 1984 VF. So I can see that more interesting in a more interesting way. My first bike was a 1984 VFR 750, and my current bike is a 2010 Harley Davidson V-Rod Muscle. Now, isn't that interesting? We were just talking about Harley Davidson, and then his like his current bike is a Harley Davidson. So L Shake and Bake, Harley Davidson V-Rod. So, you know, I would love to hear what you think about that bike. I'm not really familiar with it, but that's interesting. So thanks for your comment.
The V-Rod is probably their least sucky bike, just because the V-Rod uses Porsche technology, and they really put some engineering into it, and it's a little bit more sporty than a lot of their other bikes. And you know, if you're into touring, Harley's great. Okay, I mean, that's great. If you like a chopper, great. If you're a Sons of Anarchy fan, awesome. But I don't know, man. Like, my problem with Harley is more philosophical, because they pushed out on racing, and I'm just like, what is wrong with you? Like, nobody made an American sport bike like forever until Mission came around with their electrics, and Buell finally escaped Harley and went on to do his own thing. But I don't know. So I was just mostly disappointed in missed opportunities more than anything. As far as cruisers go, yeah, they make a fine bike these days, I think.
And then we have some other comments here on my tab. So, Skater for Life, 670.
Skater for 3 months? No, Skater for life.
Exactly.
Skater for life.
He's a rider. No, not rider. He's a skate or die guy or gal. It's funny. I don't even know these people's gender.
That's right. 670 though. That's in there.
So.
Let me read his voice though. Can I?
What's that?
Let me read his voice. Can I? Skater for life.
Can you read it?
Yeah, I'll read it. Ready?
Okay, go ahead.
How would I convince my parents for me to get a CRB 650F? I'm a college student.
Oops, I should have read that. I should have read ahead before doing Little Timmy voice.
And I have a background of dirt bikes. I grew up with them in my life.
Dude, now what do you think of the CRB 650 lowercase f, Carlisle? Is that a good bike?
I'm not even familiar with that.
The CRB, I hear it's an amazing bike. It's the converse to the CBR. It's sort of the anti-grav version. It lives in opposite land. No, I'm just kidding. It's a typo. CBR. He meant CBR.
Oh, I didn't. Wow.
Sorry. Skater for Life. I reviewed the CBR 650F. I love that bike. Convincing your parents, No idea. I don't know your parents. I don't know how reasonable they are. Most parents aren't because they don't want you to die. So you should stop skateboarding too, by the way. You know what you should do? You should leverage your skateboarding for motorcycling and say, hey, parents, I'll stop doing rail grabs or whatever the hell you guys do and ollies in reverse, umlaut, ollie, backflip, Japan 960s if you let me get a CRB 650 lowercase f.
Nice. You already answered that. Wait a minute. Did he ask the same question? Oh, okay. Yeah, he did.
Feel free to attack that one, though. I mean, what do you think, Carlisle? Can people really convince their parents?
Well, hey. This is not gonna make you feel any better. I gotta be honest. I gotta tell you the truth. Me as a grown man, middle-aged man, I think I got my first bike. I got my first bike. I wish I was mid-30s already. But regardless, I did it in secret.
Oh. Are you one of those kids that stored your bike at your friend's house? The friend with no supervision, like, oh, I've got 19 bikes all inside the living room. And you're like, I can't even lean my head against the wall. My mom complains about sweat marks. You're like, okay, two different lands.
I'm already a very private person in general, but in particular the motorcycle thing, like I definitely kept that under wraps, and it was kind of weird because I had some family come over, and I remember someone made some comments, and they were like something about like, what's that bike out there, or whose bike is that, or it was something to that effect, and I'm all like what are you talking about? What bike? You know, kind of thing. It's covered up or whatever, but still.
¿Quién es motocicla? Who's that bike?
My dad kind of found out just by accident type of thing, and I didn't really want him to necessarily know, and so even me as a grown man, it was an issue, and many times he's like, I want you to sell it, it's dangerous, blah, blah, blah. So you, as I'm assuming a much younger person, good luck to you. It really depends on your parents, but, I mean, we care about our loved ones. If I had kids, I wouldn't necessarily. You know what? That's a funny thing. That's a question you should ask me. That's an interesting question. Would I want my kid to be on motorcycles? I love motorcycles. I love to share it with others, but my own son, daughter, I don't know, man. I can't answer that question right now. That's a scary idea. I know how dangerous it can be. I know the level of responsibility required. I mean, the level of faith. I mean, for me to go and trust my kid and then end up making the wrong decision that they actually aren't mature enough, and something happened, and I could have prevented it by letting them grow up to be an adult, and then when you're an adult, you can decide. You know what I mean? Like, let them mature some more. So I had the ability to prevent them from getting this injury. Because I mean, I know obviously when you become an adult, you can still do something crazy, but the thing about it, there's a possibility that by 18, you were a little bit wiser, or and you wouldn't have done what you did at 16 or 17 or whatever. So I would want to be on the side of, as any parent, I want to protect my child. So I'm gonna lean towards the side of what's the safer option. I definitely don't want to make the wrong decision because if something happens, there's no going back. I can't be like reset button. So that's tough, man. So me, if I were a parent, I don't know how you'd convince me to get you on a motorcycle. I mean, I might wanna get you on like a dirt bike, a little 50cc or something like that, because I don't even know, because I don't know what you're gonna grow up to be. I don't want to get you into this thing and then you become this really irresponsible 20-year-old, and then when you're old enough and I can't stop you anymore and you go get a bike. I rather just probably keep you away from bikes, and if you become an adult and you get drawn to it on your own, then fine. But I don't want to be part of getting you there. Even me in general, like, forget about me and kids and just me in general. I don't necessarily like to promote motorcycles to people. Like, I don't like to tell people like, oh, you should get a bike or whatever. I don't think I've in general told anyone to get a bike. I will help you if you're gonna buy one. Like, I've done videos picking a bike and stuff, but it's just too dangerous, and it requires too much responsibility, and there's a small amount of people that really are appropriate to be on motorcycles. Even me myself, sometimes I am not appropriate to be on a motorcycle. I will admit, I get a little crazy sometimes, so it's not something I want to encourage to people or my kids, man. I know it's ironic, but yeah, that's how I feel on that, man.
Well, yeah, you can't encourage people because I would never say you should ride because, if they kill themselves, I'm going to feel responsible, right?
Yeah.
So I would be like, well, if you want to ride, I'll steer you in the right direction. I'll give you all the knowledge I have. I'll tell you about MSF and gearing up and all the gear all the time. and all that good stuff. I'll tell you what I've learned the hard way, and you can go off on your own and hopefully not die. And I have done that for friends,
You said
and
hopefully not
that's
die.
been great. Hmm?
Hopefully not die.
Yeah, hopefully don't die. And I don't have kids. I don't plan to have kids, and well, I'm not going to have kids. But if I did, I would probably let them ride if I thought they weren't completely spasmatics. Like if I thought they could handle it, I would like let them ride a little scooter, but not too small because I don't want them to get smeared. I want them to be able to get away from something. But I rode at 16. I had a 50cc scooter, and I did great. I never really crashed till I got my second motorcycle, way over and or long past that in like 2001, 2 or so. Yeah, so I never crashed a scooter. I never had problems with those. And I
just want to give a quick shout out to Alex Berry. Why, Alex Berry? Why are you in all caps except for the R? What's up with that? What's with the lowercase r? What does that mean exactly? What's the symbolic meaning of that? Anyway,
Alex Berry.
Oh yeah, this is probably a way to pronounce it, huh?
Alex Berry.
Alex Berry. No, I can't.
Well, hold on. I think an alien came down and is now playing music back to us.
He says. Oh man, what was that?
Oh,
first contact, right? Was that first contact?
Oh my God. No, that was Close Encounters of the 19th kind. No, of the fourth kind. That's how you say it. Alex Berry.
Well, he says he just bought a 2014 BS200GY-18. I didn't know what the hell that was, so I looked it up, and
These
here
alphabets
it is.
Wow.
Have you heard of this before?
I bought an X94312R. What?
Yes,
What the hell's going on? I can't keep track of it.
that's a long name, man. Bike. Oh. Stop the presses. Stop the presses, everyone. I have to definitely give a shout out to Biker Chick 650. This was my tour guide for my New York trip. Had me take me through Brooklyn and all this kind of stuff, and I got to put those videos up or whatever. So she showed me around. Really appreciate it. Treated me to dinner as well. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. So Biker Chick 650, thanks for joining the call, even though you're late. And what is she saying? I ride Kawasaki dirt bikes. That's it. KLX 650, KLR 650. All right.
Cool.
What did you just do? Capture smile? What is that?
I did that on accident, I think.
What the hell is it? Oh, by the way, people are supposed to be able to clap. How the hell are you supposed to clap? That's a new thing now. You're supposed to be able to clap on this. That's a new feature now. I activated it. So no one
smack your meat hooks together. Make noise.
What kind of retarded thing is? I mean.
It's like a poke. I mean, what's the point?
I don't even see it. Whatever. So whatever. I assume no one clapped because they probably can't figure it out because Google Hangout sucks. But anyway, so what is it? I agree with you. Would be cool if you could switch from automatic to manual. This is Matthew Yazvak.
Matthew Yazvak.
Okay, on the street, then track or road with no other cars. Switch it. That's pretty cool. And then he says, okay, that crashed. We asked it already. David Cook. Wow, I didn't know about this. So he said, wow. My wife won't let me have a motorcycle. I'm sorry, doesn't want me to kill myself.
Dude, okay. First of all, if you have a wife that's telling you can't ride, put on the pants and just say, hey, baby, I love you. Don't want to die. Don't want to die. Love you. Gonna get a motorcycle anyway. If you don't like it, don't let the door hit you in your sweet ass. So no, yeah, I would never let a chick tell me I couldn't ride. I'd be like, all right, see ya. How's your sister? Is she single? So yeah, but that's my philosophy. Everyone's different. What do you think, Carlisle? Would you let a female or any love interest tell you can't ride? I am too scared. Therefore, I will decide for you, as a sovereign adult, that you can't ride.
Personally, Okay. Me personally, I'm gonna wuss out here And if I'm gonna be, first of all, I don't really, and that's one of the reasons why I'm single, ladies, because I don't really do casual relationships and stuff like that. Like if I'm with a woman, like I'm serious, this is going somewhere. So with that in mind, I'm really taking stuff seriously, and I'm investing and combining of our lives together and all that mushy stuff. So
Right.
ultimately, I realized that, just like for example, I can't be with her and then I'm smoking and drinking and doing all kinds of craziness and stuff because she's depending on me. Like, what if I get myself hurt? That's gonna hurt her, and if we get married and stuff like that. I mean, it's like it's kind of like it's not the same thing, but imagine parents with their children, right? I mean, you got to be responsible. Your children are depending on you. Now, obviously, with a husband and wife, it's a little bit different, but still, there
Different,
is that level of dependency, and it's kind of like, I mean, to make your wife a widow. You know what I mean? So with that
You
in
could
mind,
be like, go ahead and get a job,
yeah,
get your own bike. No, I don't know.
I would have to defer to what her concerns are. It kind of suck to give away bikes, but I'm sorry. Let's put it this way: if because hey, man, I have the stuff that typically people would want in terms of like to get the ladies. So I don't have a problem getting the ladies. So I mean, with that in mind, the fact that I'm single, that tells you that I'm definitely, like, what I'm looking for is not casual. I'm looking for something very serious. So point is, if for a woman to actually get my attention to the point of like I'm in a relationship with her, that's a serious woman. And if she's that serious, then if she doesn't want me to ride a motorcycles, I'm sorry. If she's so wonderful to get my heart, then I'm sorry. As much as I love motorcycles, as much as I love cars or whatever, I would put it down in a heartbeat for the right person. But obviously, that's a very special person to get my heart like that, which is why my girlfriend's name is Dana, 675R. But anyway.
But here's the thing. How wonderful is she if she's coming at you with, like, you are not going to ride a motorcycle. I am now the boss. Like, okay, so here's the thing. You have a relationship. You have a split. You have two consenting adults, right? Both sovereign adults that make their own life decisions and did so before they met each other. And isn't part of you riding a motorcycle, isn't that part of who you are?
Okay, you know what? Let me add a correction to that. I guess I gotta look at what his statement was. He says his wife doesn't want him to kill. My wife won't let me. Okay.
Won't let me.
Okay,
Yeah.
The won't let me part. I guess I will say that there's a problem with that. I wouldn't probably. I mean, no one's perfect. I don't expect to find a perfect woman or anything. But
Right.
most likely I wouldn't be with a woman who would not let me. I would be with
because
a woman
what is
who
she
would
saying?
not. I would be with a woman who would not like me to,
Sure.
and I would respect her desire, and I would put down the bikes, or I would respond to that. But ultimately, she would not kind of like, ultimatum, like, I'm going to leave you or whatever. Like, no. I mean, it would be kind of like, look,
Exactly.
if it means that much to you, then go ahead and do it, but I really don't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like if she can tell me I can't ride, does that mean I get to tell her she can't play naked co-ed baby oil twister?
But
I mean,
she can't. But she can't though.
I mean, do I get to tell her she has to stop her full contact macrame? I mean, what do I get to tell her she can't do? If I can't ride a bike, then you can't do your whatever you do. Parcheesi bee.
And this is what you call when Carlisle's Fix goes Tim the bartender. Because Tim, I don't know if you know, Tim's Take Live, he has another channel that he does like relationship stuff like that, and I kind of went into his zone. But anyway.
It's all good, man. It was a good question, and that's the thing. It's how you come at me. Like, if a woman says, I'm not going to let you ride, I'm like, well, see ya. I mean, it's that simple. Like, I just would I would never set a precedent for a new female to tell me what I can and can't do within reason. Like, obviously, don't kill people. Done. We're in agreement. All right. Don't ride. Yeah, let's talk about that. I am going to ride. We're going to talk about how you're going to handle it. So I just don't get that. But, women tend to be a little bit more risk averse. So obviously most women that you meet are not going to want to ride or want you to ride. And men are more, we make up more of the riders for a reason. But that's why the women who do ride are so awesome. They're so special because so few women ride.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I got it. Same thing with cars, man. A woman that's with a fast car or a bike is just like, Wow. Hey, look,
Dude, women that ride are awesome, and they're so novel. They get so much attention because they're just so unusual. Like finding a woman who likes shopping on Saturdays, easy, very easy. Finding a woman who likes yoga and smoothies, easy. If she likes a CBR 600 all double all, that's hard to do.
I
And if
will.
she's good at it and a vlogger, hello.
I will say this. It's interesting. We're back to Tim the bartender mode here, but and there's an additional issue that I've always, because actually, a little side thing.
Sure.
Way back in the day, I actually used to be very much into that relationship stuff, whatever. Like I actually used to actually write articles about that stuff. So this is something I definitely have considered, talked about, read up on. And one thing I definitely see is, in spite of the fact that people consider, and this is weird, we're getting into this on this call, but I'll keep it short. This whole man's world thing, I think, is such a lie, because I really think it's a women's world, because it's kind of like the women let the men think they're in charge, but really it's the women that are in charge.
Oh
Because
yeah.
like you talked about how like the woman telling the guy he can't have the bike, and then you said like, can I say the same thing to the woman? And you know what? No, you can't. In
You couldn't.
relationship that I see, it's like the woman can tell the guy all kinds of stuff, like how to dress, who to talk to. I mean, like he's a child. You know what I
Right.
mean? But
Right.
dare the guy try to do anything like that, and it's like it's totally inappropriate. Like you're trying to run my life or
Controlling.
whatever. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think the woman's doing to the guy? Like, you have him like he's a kid. Like, what the hell's going on?
And here's the kicker, guys. Here's the kicker. If you acquiesce to a woman like that, you're gonna dry up her vag in 2 seconds. Because women are not attracted to guys who bend that easily. Even though they say they are, they're lying. They're really not.
It depends, because I've found modern women, they have like these like different guys for different purposes and stuff like that. And there is the women who one of the guys that she wants is a guy that basically she can just walk all over him and tell him what to do.
But
and,
they don't
and
want
kind of
that.
stuff.
They don't actually want that.
She's
They
probably
may
not gonna
say they
marry
want
him. She probably won't marry him, but she'll date him like that.
Yeah, but they're still gonna bang the dude that has his own ideas and values and stands up to her. Sometimes the best thing you could do with a female is just stand up to her. Just stand your ground. Say, hey, look, obviously I'm gonna keep riding because I was riding before I met you, and the divorce rate is 54% or whatever it is. So the odds are better on the bike.
Well, on the final note of women and motorcycles and whatever, I will have to say, and this is absolutely ridiculous, but if I'm on the road and I see a motorcycle go by, and this could end very badly in certain circumstances, especially the way some guys are today. I don't know, some of you guys today, man. I don't know about you guys, like your hairstyles, but anyway, if I see this long hair out the back.
Yeah.
Like just that alone, I'm just like, but again, this could end badly because it could be one of those guys that does that. But just
That's true.
let's forget
Which
about
would be
that. It
very
could be a
weird.
guy. It's just the fact that I get it turns my attention so much. Just
Yep.
the idea that there's possibly a woman on it. I don't even know how the woman looks. She could be ugly for all I know. But
The fact that she's riding is
Exactly.
amazing. It's a turn on. And here's the thing, you can tell by the body too and how she rides. Like women sort of hold themselves differently, and you can tell
yes,
by
yes.
a lot of things. But
Yes,
it's awesome. So women that ride, women that are vloggers, they have I don't want to say an advantage, even though it kind of is because they're females, but they also get a lot more shit too. So it balances out. Like some female vloggers get a lot of crap from guys because the guys don't take them seriously, and then a lot of guys are just like, humana, meet me for drinks, yeah, being pigs that we tend to be sometimes. And so I just think it's amazing that women, when they ride, I think it's amazing, especially if it's a sport bike. I think cruisers are a little easier for a lot of women, but when it's a sport bike, especially like, I don't know, I just think it's awesome. So yay female riders, yay female vloggers.
absolutely. And I think that is the final question of the night. We just Alex Burley said one more thing. He says, I was that guy. I guess he's saying he was watching my Ninja 250 video in the snow. How I saw your Snow Ninja video, and ever since you've made good videos, you've inspired me. Thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate that. Like the great feedback, because I know SpacePod, you relate to this as well. Probably not as much as me, because my channel is very, very complex. I cover so many different topics, and you find people on YouTube are very, very. It's like it's a different type of person. Like I've discovered a lot, and one thing I discovered is that people on YouTube can be very, very like tunnel vision in a way. When I say tunnel vision, like you have bike guys, and actually you are in a way like that kind of because you don't really subscribe to any other channels but bikes. I know not literally, but you're primarily in the bike world only, right? On YouTube.
Right, and but I do talk about things besides bikes. I talk about my car, and I talk about philosophy and contentious subjects and politics, religion, whatever. So I definitely am not limited to bikes when I.
But what you watch though? But what you watch?
I hide my subs, but I'll watch like paint channels. I'll watch philosophy stuff. Like I watch all kinds of crap. I don't just watch bike stuff.
Okay.
Actually, I don't even watch a lot of bike videos lately at all. I'm just because the limited time I have, I got to be very focused on what I watched, which is porn. Just kidding.
Well, yeah. Well, what I was getting at is because of the fact that I cover so many different bases. I have people that subscribe for bikes only, and then people subscribe for cars only. So then the other content they don't so much like it. So I like you'll get a lot more love on your channel because everyone who subscribed to your channel pretty much for the most part are getting what they subscribe for because pretty much you're all doing like motovlogs. So anybody that subscribe for a motovlog. So any of the video that you upload is pretty much that's what they subscribe for. So me, all other stuff. So I'll get hate. Like actually, look at this. This is kind of stuff that I deal with. I just did it because this Google Hangouts has been a pain in the butt. I spent like hours trying to figure it out for Dr. M3's Hangout. I wanted to help him out to make sure he didn't have any problems. And then I did a tutorial video and I put it up. And that video was like the worst received ever out of all my videos. The first thing was a thumbs down. The second, the third, and the fourth was a thumbs down with no thumbs up. So it was just like pure thumbs down. And it's not, and I know like not all my videos are like the best or whatever. I'm honest enough to appreciate that, but this was actually a pretty good video. I will say it was a pretty good video. It was definitely helpful, and I went over the good details. So there was no really need for anyone to be thumbing down the video. But I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I see on my channel, and I think a lot of it has to do with the kind of the variety. Like probably some guys that subscribe for car stuff. I'm like, what is this like Google Hangout? Screw Google Hangouts. Like I don't want to see this. Like put up car videos,
Yeah.
So when I see stuff like this, I'm getting sidetracked. Stuff like this where a positive comment, you make great videos, and I even have some stories. And all you guys that say this stuff, I really appreciate it. I get people that send me private messages. One guy from Australia, he wrote this long thing about how he loves the content, he loves the videos, and he's like, I don't normally comment on stuff, but I really had to comment because I just really appreciate the effort you put into your videos. And you guys, man, all that stuff really means a lot because doing this YouTube stuff, and it's not a career for me. I know some people try to do it as a career, but it does take a lot of my money. It takes a lot of my time, and it's a big investment for me. I do enjoy doing the videos. I've always wanted to do kind of like my show and doing videos and stuff, and YouTube has enabled me to do it because doing it professionally, the money's not really there, and it's a finicky kind of industry. Funny thing, YouTube is finicky too, but the thing is, since it's not a job, the finickiness is not that big of an issue. It's not like I'm sitting here, oh, my views are low. How am I gonna pay my rent? You know what I mean? So I can kind of what's the word? Brush it off, the kind of finickiness.
Yeah.
But still, regardless,
I would love to have that problem.
What's that?
I would love to have that problem. My views are low this month. How am I gonna make rent?
Exactly.
My views are low this month, boss. How am I gonna make rent?
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
With that being said, it's still regardless, it's still a big investment on time and money. So when I spend all that time and money and put my heart into it, I mean, I put a lot of effort. Now look at the what do you call it, the ice bucket, right? Now no one wanted to dunk water on my head. I don't know if people are afraid of me or whatever. I figured with all the hate, someone would want to do it, but that was a problem. I kept asking, and it was like people don't have time or whatever. I thought people would jump at the opportunity, so I
would have done it, but I'm too short. I can't reach over your head.
Yeah, actually, the guy who did it was kind of short too. But anyway, I ended up paying off some tourists to do it, to get it done. But I didn't need to. I could have just like went in the backyard and I could have just thrown it over my head. But that's not how I operate, man. If I'm gonna do the ice bucket challenge, I'm gonna freaking do a Vanilla Ice music video and all this kind of stuff. Like that's how I do things. But being that kind of person, and then having, a lot of people don't even bother to like the videos, they don't bother to share the videos, a lot of that kind of stuff, and then the thumbs down and the negative comments here and there. So it's really important to get the positive feedback because you know, I'm thick-skinned, but still I am human, and I don't want it to be like purely thankless. You know, mostly thankless is fine, but not purely thankless. I need some, you know, positive feedback. So I really
Yeah.
appreciate when you guys do that, you know.
Occasionally, the rescue dog needs to find something,
Yeah,
or it
exactly.
becomes sad rescue dog, and then so they plant stuff for it to find, and then it's happy again. They're like,
What's the most amazing thing someone's told you about your channel, one of your subscribers?
oh, geez, good question. Well, I've had some amazing trolls, and they're fun. Play with them a little bit, and then let's see. Best thing is I bought a 300 because of you. I've gotten a few of those. I've
Wait. Oh, so
had
he actually bought the bike just because of you. Wow.
yeah, because of my recommendations and whatnot, and let's see. I've had people that saw my dealer video, and they've actually gone there and mentioned my name, so that was cool. And then the dealer knew that they had seen my videos and bought the bike, maybe partially inspired by SpacePod, so that was pretty cool. Just great stuff, man. Like people just dropping comments about editing or, you know, or this or that or art or engagement. The fact that they watched a video that was probably pretty long, but they stuck through it, that's always cool.
It's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that because, as you said, this stuff costs money. It costs time and effort and energy and resources. And most notably, we could be doing something else. But, you know,
Yeah.
here we are editing and whatever. And I love riding. We both love riding. And I don't mind talking and vlogging. All that's cool. But the editing and the equipment, all that takes effort and time. And like the last video I did with Chase and Motonosity, I think I spent like 3 days just editing that thing because it was so much.
Oh.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then,
The
yeah.
keyframing.
Yeah, the keyframing for the helmets, and then like an hour after I uploaded it, I found that in Premiere CC 2014, it has mask tracking. So you make a mask and it tracks automatically, and I'm like, great. I find this out after, but that's only because I pursued the knowledge after I was so burnt out from masking and keyframing. So that was a kind of funny irony.
All right, so I'm going to wrap up this call here. Just want to give some shout outs for all the people that made this call successful here. So again, we had BakerXderek. Definitely, you want to take a look at his channel. Is this still a video that's still playing? Wow. Oh, that's the Air Force video. Okay, all right, because I thought I played a short video. I didn't know there was still something playing. Can you see his video right now?
No. Oh, wait, there's something.
What do you see when I'm talking?
Now I see the Air Force video. Yeah, March Air Force Base. That was a good one, man.
Yeah, I wanted to actually show let's see, he had a video about like a short film type of thing. He does some really good stuff, like when he does like the little short films and stuff. BakerXderek, if you hear this or you're watching this, like, yeah, you really do some great stuff, man. I've been watching, yeah, your short. See, here's what I was showing earlier. This is really awesome, man. It's really great work, man. And it's kind of unexpected because, you know, you're not that I'm saying you can't do it, but I mean you're a motovlogger, so you typically do motovlogs. You're supposed to just like put a camera on your helmet and talk about stuff, and then you start doing this like cinematic stuff, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, he's got a really awesome cinematic streak in there, and really good art sensibility.
Yeah, he's definitely talented, man. Good stuff, man. So definitely subscribe to BakerXderek, and don't call him BikerXderek like I did. That's not a good idea.
But, I asked him about the name once. I'm like, how'd you come up with the name? Were you a baker? Did you used to bake? Did you live in Bakersfield? He's like, he didn't really. It's just like, oh, it's just the name I came up with. I'm like, wow, that's cool, man, because it would be weird now if he was anything other than BakerXderek.
Man, see, you know what? Here's the funny thing. It's like I'm watching his video, and ultimately, this is the kind of stuff that I would like to do with my channel. It's just that I'm spending too much time like building the channel and growing the channel. I needed to get to a certain point. Like my first goal was like 100,000 subscribers. Once I get to that point, then I can kind of pace myself more and work on more long-term projects, because I definitely want to do short films for, you know, no doubt. I mean, car stuff, car films, motorcycle films, but it just takes too much time, and it's already taking a lot of time as it is. So I just, you know, in time.
It's really tough for the full-time job too. I mean, I freelance, so it's easier for me than some because, you know, I work from home. So if I want to nip out and do a vlog, I can. Editing, I can work around my other stuff, and I also do vlogger decals and all that, so that takes up time. But yeah, man, it's
What was your
tricky.
film?
Sorry?
You didn't do a short film, but you did a very nicely done, like a kind of it's a little cinematic, a little bit. Was it a helmet thing? What was it called?
You're talking about the intro thing?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think you did it for someone, right? Or for the company.
Oh,
Come on, I'm watching your channel here. Come on, tell me the name of the thing, dude.
what was the company that you're talking about?
I'm gonna search the intro.
I haven't really done like cinema type stuff, but you know, I just have a lot of different things. I have a lot of do-it-yourself videos for the Kawasaki Ninja and the GSXR 750, a little bit of car stuff, philosophy, religious. You know, I'm not afraid of a contentious topic. That's one thing that I bring that you don't always see is I'll talk about almost anything, and knowing it's contentious, knowing that I might lose a sub or two or gain a sub or two.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
there
yeah,
you go.
that was like a quickie commercial I did for MotoD.
Yeah, I liked it, man.
Thanks, man.
So this wasn't really like, this is not really your like content from your channel. This is like a separate thing, but you threw it up there anyway. But still, I mean, it's
This was this is a paid job, and you know, basically I did it for them, but I wanted to show everybody what I did. So MotoD is pretty cool because you know I bought their products in the past, and they let me test out the MotoD helmet case, and of course I made a little promo video for them, and I suppose they're putting it on their website or whatnot. But it was fun. It was a fun little project.
And what's this promo video here?
Oh yeah, promo video, just a little snippet of my channel and a few people I've met, and you know where I ride, how I talk when riding, and yeah, the green screen on that is bad. I gotta fix that for the next time. And this is me on ACH. So you get a sense of what bike I'm on, how I ride, how I talk when riding, the audio quality, etc. I skip around to different bikes I've tested. That was Mark Nowhere Man CBR 250R.
Yeah, you've tested a good amount of bikes now, man.
Yeah, yeah. Some of the tests have been very brief, but I have tested a lot of bikes.
Wow, cool.
These are some vloggers I've met, and I met Jay Leno, as you saw. That was pretty cool.
Cool, man. So yeah, so definitely, I don't know.
You're in there too, eh, Carlisle?
Am I?
Yeah, keep watching. You'll see it.
I hope you didn't get me where I fell over.
Oh, this is a different video. This is not the most recent, I don't think.
That's the older one? Wait, do you have a channel trailer?
Does who?
Do you have a channel trailer?
Yeah. Mhm.
Is it in there?
It's got to be a more recent one, though. Yeah, it's...
The current one, I'm saying. The current trailer.
Yeah, the current trailer. I do have a channel trailer, yeah. You can only see it if you're not subbed, so...
Well, I want to sub your channel.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So let me see. So it's in this one?
Yeah, this one is more updated, and it has you in it. See, it says V2.
I just want to see myself, that's all.
You'll see yourself, yeah, yeah.
I don't care about anything else. I just want to...
Before that, earlier.
What's the word for this? Like somebody.
There we go, right around there. Right around there. Yeah.
What do you call like someone who just likes to see themselves in the mirror? Oh, there you go.
There you go. Look at you.
Oh, and look at me. Hey, everybody, look at
yep,
me.
Yep. I got a really good clip of you making that motion. Riding with Tom.
It's too
BakerX.
I gotta freeze.
Just a snippet.
Yeah, look at me. I'm jumping
over. And your bike too, memorialized.
Look at Dana's ass sticking out like that, man. Oh, she's.
Yep. Little plug, and that's been there. That's been there for a long time now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. See how your channel is? 0 thumbs down. If I did a video like this would have at least 5 thumbs down. Same exact video.
I do have my contingent of haters though.
It's all good.
We all do though. When you get big enough, make sure you hit that subscribe. Hit the fuck out of that. Thanks, bro.
And this is. Hey, if you guys are watching, I know some of my subscribers haven't even done this because people say, "Oh, well, when did you do this video?" I'm sorry. When did you do this video? I haven't seen this video. Because you didn't click on the send me updates option, man. So it doesn't let you know that I upload videos. All right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so let's see. So SpacePod, BakerXderek, and unfortunately Ricky Gadson looks like obviously he didn't make it, unfortunately. But I still want to give him a plug anyway because it was awesome for him to even try to join this call. So Um, he has a drag race school, and if you guys are looking to get into drag racing, so here's a link actually, pretty awesome. Here is the link. So Ricky Gadson, I'm a good sport. I even know I know things ran into you had something come up or whatever. I will still give you a plug because you are
Nice.
an awesome guy. You've always been awesome, and you demonstrated again by even trying to join this call. I mean, you're a busy guy. You got a lot of stuff going on. So if you guys are into drag racing, definitely go to Ricky with an EY, not KY like I've been spelling it. Ricky Gadson, dragracing.school.com, and you can learn how to drag race just like the champion. And in his school, he uses the ZX10, which is an amazing motorcycle. Sorry, Kawasaki, but I'm still a Hayabusa guy. But technologically, I do admit that this DX14 is the superior bike, not only by more power, but also the technology. I mean, the Hayabusa is still very raw. It doesn't have all the aids and technology that the ZX14 does. But regardless, these are the bikes he uses in his school, which are pretty awesome. So you can have that massive, powerful bike, and yet be totally safe. And I think there's ways you can like have it where the wheel will come up a little bit or not so much, and there's all these different settings. Pretty cool. So check it out, Ricky Gadson, dragracing.school.com. Now, the final guy I wanted to mention, which is another really cool for those of you guys that are you're looking for channels that have good motorcycle content. 6 Foot Honda. He actually had a question for Ricky Gadson. So sorry, 6 Foot Honda, and he's working. 6 Foot Honda, lame,
6'4"
lame-o.
Honda.
I'm sorry, I keep saying that. 6'4" Honda.
Yeah.
You are so lame to be working a night job. You and freaking riding with Tom, it's a time zone thing, but riding with Tom is working right now. I mean, come on, Tom, you working really? I mean, that's how they do stuff in Australia. You're working. You actually have a job. I mean, come on. Anyway, so he's working isn't that crazy? He's working on the other side of the globe. He's working right now, and then over here we have 6'4" Honda, who's working right now too, because he's got some night shift job. Anyway, I just wanted to give a shout out. You know, he's got a lot of awesome content. He's up to what is he up to now? His channel's been growing like crazy. He's up to
Yeah, his channel blew up. He's at 44,000. I just saw.
Yeah, 44,000.
Almost 45,000. Crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. So, and you guys know it's really hard to get subscribers. So you know he's doing something right. So definitely check his channel out. And actually, he mentioned one of his because I wanted to show something from his channel. And unfortunately, the way I have this set up, I don't think you guys can hear this, but I guess I'll put a link in the description. But what the hell just happened? Okay, he wanted to show this video, which is actually kind of cool. This is kind of stuff that 6'4" Honda does. There's a guy here who's I assume he's homeless or something, and he actually brought him food. And you know, it's funny. I'm big into charity and stuff like that, but I have a little bit of a different attitude. I remember when a former CFO, he asked me, he's like, "Why do you do all this charity?" He's like, "You know, you do it for the tax benefits." And I was just laughing. I was because I don't even file the claims. I know like money manager would be like, you know, "What are you doing, dude? You need to be doing your claims or whatever." But it's first of all, it's not even worth it to me. People think it's a big deal, but it's like. It's not worth it because you're forgetting you're still spending money. Like when you make a donation to a charity, that's still your money that you're giving away. So even if you're considering, okay, now you're in a lower tax bracket or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's just really not worth the time and effort. I mean, you got enough stuff to worry about. So I don't care about that stuff. Like when I donate to charity, I donate to charity because I want to donate to charity. But the other thing that's different about my attitude is I'm more like 6'4" Honda. Like he's actually bringing this guy food. You know what I mean? I'm not it's weird. Like you think, I should be the one that's, giving money to everybody, but I'm actually one of the last people to like give money to people on the street. Like people that are like begging for money, I'll tell you straight up, I don't give money. I rather give food, and my biggest charity is not even so much money, it's more on my time. I take my own time off from work and I go to high schools and I try to motivate kids. Like that's my personal charity. My thing is kids because I've given up on the adults. I don't mean that, but I mean but that, I'm half joking and half serious, because I mean, people get set in their ways and they have all these habits and they have all these, like, you know, they get brainwashed and they get into this, like, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, I'm a liberal, whatever it is, you know. But kids they're still young, and it's like I can kind of get them to stop focusing on the being cool and all that kind of stuff, and focus on, you know, on in school. You're in school, focus on you know, what are you going to do for a living, what's your career going to be, and all that kind of stuff, because we have adults that are still living like kids, where they're spending more money than they have to get a nice car to show off to people. For what? You know what I mean? And then the credit card debt and all this kind of stuff. So one of my things, I want to get these kids to, you know, not go down that lifetime of debt, you know, getting into credit cards, you know, buying stuff to impress strangers. Like, who the hell cares that you're driving down the street in a nice car? People that you don't even know are looking at you. Like, who the hell cares?
Exactly.
Is that worth the note?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's about priorities, and a lot of that's maturity that even if you tell them, they don't get it until they understand it, you know, for themselves.
And then people look at me and they're like, okay, like, what are you talking about? Like, look how much money you spend on cars and bikes and whatever. But you know what? The thing about it, you got to put it all in perspective. When I actually supposed to do a video about this. You know, if you see me buying something like a Bugatti Veyron, I'm sorry, that's not the way I want to say. If I had the money to go and buy me a Bugatti Veyron right now, I would buy me a Lamborghini a Murciel. I'm sorry. It's so late. The SV. I can't. It's late in the day. Whatever. The SV. What's it? The LP 670 or whatever.
Murcielago.
Yeah. I'm a Lambo. See, that's how late it is. I'm a Lambo guy, and I don't even remember the name of the model. But whatever. I would buy the top of the line Lamborghini, or the Aventador, the 50th anniversary, or whatever.
I like the Aventador.
Again, with the money to buy a $2 million car, I don't buy the $2 million car. I buy the freaking $400,000 or $300,000 car. Right. So when you see me buying expensive things, you got to realize that it's actually not expensive. I actually bought whatever I bought because of the fact that it's much cheaper than the thing that I really could afford, and because of the fact that I could either pay cash for it or I could, you know, pay out the loan in a year. Like my first car, I pretty much paid it off in a little over a year. I think definitely less than 2 years. I mean. So this is me, my first like professional job or whatever. I could have bought a Mercedes-Benz. That's the thing to do. Oh, you got a Benz or whatever. But with the Benz money, what did I buy? I bought a Toyota Celica for about $10,000, and I owned it within a year and a half or so. So I was riding this car that was, you know, great mileage, so it wasn't much on fuel. The insurance was low, and I owned it, so there was no note. So that car note money was going into my pocket. I was building up equity in the bank while my colleagues were sitting there paying notes on the BMW or whatever. You know what I mean? So you got to consider perspective. Don't just look at someone that they buy something expensive, because you got to look at the whole perspective. And also, I don't spend money on all kinds of other stuff. Like my thing, like cars and bikes, like that's kind of my Achilles heel. But otherwise, like I'm in the discount shops. I'm always trying to get sales. I've got clothes that I bought 10 years ago that I'm still wearing now, man. Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I don't spend much on clothes at all. Like clothes I used to when I was younger, and ironically, I made the most money when I was 20. Compared to even later when I was even doing well, but had a very odd career. But back then I cared about clothes. Nowadays, don't give a shit. I wear my video game swag T-shirts, and I am happy in shorts. Good to go.
He's a video game swag.
My video game swag. Like I have shirts from every video game company I've worked for, and E3 and SIGGRAPH and whatever. And so I'd rather wear a 3D Studio Max shirt than try to get the latest designer duds, you know.
Well,
unless you're going to go somewhere formal.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you everyone for contributing to the call, the guys on the panel, as well as all the people that have asked the questions. I really appreciate the feedback on that, and thank you guys for the support on Carlisle's Picks and your Fast Life, where that's a car and bike channel. And thank you for subscribing. I know you've subscribed to SpacePod already. Thank you for doing that. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
He has contributed on this call, and in return, I would like to, you know, get him some more subscribers. So please subscribe to his channel. I'm all about team effort. You know, we help each other out. Same thing for BakerXderek. You know, subscribe to his channel. And all these guys are awesome guys. They got awesome content. 6'4" Honda. You know, I'm sorry. You know, if I'm in a situation where I'm gonna do something where I'm gonna try to, you know, cross promote or whatever, and your stuff sucks, I mean, I'm probably just not gonna have you be on the call because I'm not gonna sit here and say your stuff is cool and it's not. You know what I mean? So, you know, when
I
I
hear
say
you,
these guys
man.
make good stuff, I mean, I mean it. I'm sorry. I appreciate that Space Bottle's on the call and BakerXderek, but I'm sorry if you guys' stuff wasn't cool. I'm not gonna sit here and say it. I just wouldn't have you on the call to avoid me having to, you know, deal with that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, man, I agree.
I'm genuinely thumbs up. You know, these guys, awesome content. Subscribe to their content. I'm gonna have the links in the description. Really, really appreciate it, everyone. And on that note, this is Carlisle with Carlisle's Picks signing off, and SpacePod sign off.
All right, guys, Spacepod out. Thanks, Carlisle, for the invite, and great talking to you, man.
All right, man, take it easy, man.
You too.
Out.
Good night.